Very good evening to you all, friends. I'm Sanjeev Singhal, Central Council Member, Chairman of the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board, and Vice Chairman of the Committee for Member in Industry and Business. I welcome you all to yet another webinar of AASB. Our today's topic is the use of the data analytics in statutory audit. And to deal with the topic, we have expert speaker Gaurav ji, and we have two young moderators with us. Friends, the data analytics play a very important role in statutory audits. Because in statutory audit, normally we do the sampling. However, the data analytics enable us to deal with the entire population, to do an analysis of the entire population, and that too in a fraction of time. To give an example, if one has to analyze that whether there are any dummy employees or dummy workers, uh, one can apply some unique field like Aadhaar number or PAN number. And then on the entire data, this can be applied in a tool as simple as Excel or as complicated as some of the ERPs. And in a fraction of time, we'll get to know whether any such instances occur. Secondly, suppose we want to see the sales trend, or we want to see that we want to perform some ratio analysis. So data analytics is possible through some of these simple tools. And there are many softwares also which are available now if one doesn't want to use Excel. Excel is available. Once you have a license of Office 365, Excel is available to all. And there are certain data extraction tool as well, which are available in the market, which can extract data from the books of accounts of the client, and which enables an auditor to perform this analysis. So we thought that let us organize a webinar on this very specialized topic. And for this purpose, we requested Gauravji to enlighten our members on this use of data analytics in the statutory audit. We're thankful to our speakers as well as the moderators for taking out their precious time. And I'm sure that all the participants will be greatly benefited by this deliberation. I'm thankful to our participants as well, because they are taking keen interest in these programs. And that is why we are able to continuously organize these programs. With this, may I now invite Akashi to take the proceedings further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the handover. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the entire fraternity in today's 128 CP program for this council year. My name is Akash Panja, and I am a member of the institute from the past 3 years. I have post-qualification experience in financial reporting and statutory audits. First of all, I would like to extend heartiest thanks to CA Sanjeev Singhal, sir, Chairman AASB of ICAI, CA Vishal Doshi, sir, Vice Chairman AASB of ICAI, as well as Anil, sir, for organizing the series of informative webinars where experienced professionals come together to guide and advise other professionals so that we all can ensure and deliver high quality audits. And a very big thanks to the entire panel for providing me an opportunity to be a moderator for today's session. So today we are having two eminent speakers with us who will be sharing the professional insights, key challenges, as well as opportunities on the topic data analytics in statutory audits. It is one of the hot topics nowadays and is most important for every audit. Data analytics in auditing is a great way to leverage the power and scope of analytics to perform the better audits. It is the art and science of finding patterns in data, particularly inconsistencies and differences with the expectations. So now I would like to invite my co-moderator, CA Gunjan Goyal, to introduce our esteemed speaker, CA Gaurav Malhotra, and take the proceedings further. Over to you, Gunjan.
Thank you, Akash. So, since today's topic is all about data analytics in statutory audit, firstly, I would like to thank Sanjeev Kaur Singhal, Chairman of the AASB, and the Vishal Doi, Vice Chairman of the AASB, to provide me this opportunity to attend this webinar as a moderator. So, data analytics in statutory audit is all about involve using data analytics tools and techniques to examine financial data and assess compliances with regulation. By analyzing large volume of data, auditor can identify trends and potential area of risk more efficiently than the traditional method. This approach enhances the accuracy and efficiency of audit, help in detection fraud, and ensure that financial statements provide a true and fair view of organization financial position. To have a deeper knowledge about this topic, we have CA Gaurav Manotra here. So, as a guest speaker, so I would like to introduce CA Gaurav Manotra. CA Gaurav Manotra is a partner in BMG and Company, chartered accountancy firm having branches in Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan. He has qualified as a chartered accountant in May 2014 and has been a member of Institution of Chartered Accountant of India since October 2014. He has also qualified as LLB in October 2019 and pursuing his interest in the field of litigation. He is also qualified the course on concurrent audit of bank, forensic accounting, and fraud detection, and various other certification courses. His experience is business process re-engineering, statutory audit, process audit, analyzing of complex data structure, indirect taxations has been evolved in renowned organization, namely T.R. Chadda and Company and BSR and Company. He has authored many articles on topics like GST on various journals and digital platforms. That is Journal of Agra branch of ICI, Tax Guru, Tax Log, and so on. His erstwhile assessments involve bank statutory audit, internal audit, revenue audit, fixed asset verification audit, forensic audit, SOC audit, and many other audit of various public sector entities, listed entities, and MNCs, etc. This is all about CA Gaurav Malhotra. Now I would like to ask CA Gaurav Malhotra to go ahead with webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, Gunjan. First of all, I would like to thank CA Sanjeev Kumar Singhal ji, Chairman of AASB of ICI. Thanks to CA Vishal Doshi ji, Vice Chairman AASB of ICI, and all the managing committee who just make this program possible. And thanks to Akash, thanks to Gunjan. Thank you very much. Sir, today, can I share the screen just a minute? Is it visible, Gunjan?
Yeah.
Fine. Friends, the topic is the buzzing topic, data analytics. When we are just talking about the data analytics and the field audit is co-inclined with this topic. So it means we need to play with the data. As we know that data analytics and data science nowadays are interchangeably used everywhere. Wherever you go, wherever you travel, everybody talks about data analytics. Sir, why data analytics is so much a buzzing field nowadays? Every department, whether our income tax department, GST, goods and service tax department, all are working on the data. What they really wanted from this data, a useful insight information from the data. Nowadays, tax department is doing a data mining of the data on a very large scale. Income tax department, GST, just to get all the tax evader, just to get all the person who are taking wrongly availed ITC, whatever may be the reason. My concern is this, everybody is concerned about this data. So today the webinar is all about the data analytics. When we are just talking about the data analytics, the way forward, when we used to study, we know a tagline that finance is the lifeblood of an organization. But today, as of now, I just make little bit correction in that tagline, data and finance Both are lifeblood of an organization. Without data, no organization can survive. Without finance, no organization can survive. Both the things go co-inclined, line by line with the organization just to get succeed in the economy. So friends, data analytics. So data analytics in statutory audit. Is this field is new for the statutory audit, for the chartered accountant? Are we doing the analytical procedure first time? For the last 5 years, we get rid with this word data analytics, data analytics, data analytics. So is this word is new for the chartered accountant? The answer is no. We are already doing the data analytics as required standards on auditing 520 analytical procedures we need to perform while doing an audit of an organization, but some tools are available as of now. But some tools are available as of now. Why tools are available, sir? Because we are working in a very complex and large database. With working in the large and the complex database, we can't be able to do an analytical procedure in an Excel. We need to perform certain substantive analytical procedure through various tools which are available in the market. Moving ahead with this, my presentation. Sir, why data analytics? Sir, conversion, everybody knew about it. Conversion of raw material into a finished product. Conversion of raw material into a finished product is known as manufacturing. In the same manner, sir, conversion of raw data into a structured data just to get the valuable insight for the organization is known as data analytics. We are doing sir data analytics just to conversion of the raw data into a structured data just to get some useful insight which will be used while doing an audit of an entity. Secondly, sir, in doing an audit, we have a different types of stage: planning, execution, collection, understanding the entity, and so on. Whether we can use the data analytic results which we are getting at any stage of audit, the answer is yes. We can use the data analytic result can be used at any stage of audit and in any type of audit. Today, the webinar is all about the data analytics in statutory audit. But from my point of view, the webinar should be data analytics in audit, because we are doing an analytics in not in statutory audit, we are doing an analytics in internal audit, in forensic audit, in performance audit, and lot of audit was there. We are doing an data analytic in that also. But today the webinar is all about the statutory audit data analytics, so we need to concern with this also. The degree of use of data analytic results, however, depend upon the availability of data and the maturity of the field officer in using data analytics technique. Sir, data analytics results depend upon the availability of data. What is the quality of data on which we are performing the data analytics? And what is the maturity of the field officer? It means what are qualified they are equipped, how they can deal with the result, or how they he or she can interpret the result. Thirdly, data mining versus data analytics. Data mining versus data analytics. What is data mining, sir? Data mining nowadays are adopted by the big organization, or we can say that our income tax department as of now is also working on the data mining process. How they are working, sir? Because nowadays department are getting information from outsource key so and so persons having an income of 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 6 lakh, whatever they have an income, and they are purchasing a huge luxury items. They are purchasing a huge amount of in luxury items. So the government is decided to do the data mining of the data which is available with him. So with this data mining process, the government with this budget 2024, they have come out with one of the provisions that they are going to impose a 1% TCS on the luxury item purchases. What was their intention behind this insertion of this provision? Just they are getting the information with the help of data mining. Everybody have an have an luxury item with them, but they are not paying any penny of amount of taxes. They all are filing their income less than what they are earning. So with the help of data mining, they can able to trace the person, those who have an income and thus purchasing the luxury items. So what is the difference between data mining and the data analytics? So data mining is a broader word, data analytics is a smaller word. So we can say that what is data mining? Data mining is basically a conversion of a large amount of data into a smaller structured packets is known as data mining. And what is data analytics? Data analytics is just to perform a functioning on a small amount of data. Moving ahead. Data mining is a process of search and analyzing large batch of raw data in order to identify patterns and extract useful information. Now, companies using data mining software to learn more about their customers, it can help them to develop more effective marketing strategy, increase sales, and decrease cost. How? Suppose, let's take an example of an organization with the name ABC Private Limited. ABC Private Limited is doing sale of a product ABC, but they never, they have a consolidated revenue of rupees 1 CR, 30, 40. Now they wanted to they have one more product, D product which they have, but they have an sale, negligible sale, 1 or 2 lakh rupees. Now with the help of data analytics, with the help of data processing, they can know about it. They have one product D which have a negligible amount of sale. Why not to discontinue with this product? So with the help of data mining or the data analytics, they can discontinue with this product. With this discontinued product, they can able to achieve the cost effectiveness. They can able to achieve the sale because they concentrated their resources onto the other ABC product. With this help, the companies are doing better position. The companies are doing in a better position. So we can just say that data mining is a valuable source, or data analytics is a go hand to hand for the organization just to achieve the results. So when we are talking about data analytics, so the agenda of today's webinar is all about the data analytics with respect to statutory audit. So we need to touch upon this statutory audit. Sir, what is the objective of a statutory audit? Sir, the objective of an audit of financial statement is to enhance the degree of confidence of intended user in the financial statement. Who all are intended user? The stakeholders of our organization is our intended users. So we are performing the audit not for the management. We are performing the audit for the intended users. We are putting the report of our audited balance sheet, audited ABS for the intended user of an organization, for the intended user. So statutory audit have its own objective, but the audit of financial statement of an organization, use of descriptive analytics and visualization can assist the auditor in understanding and gaining insight into various classes of transaction, account balances, or disclosure that potentially indicate an unexplained variation or abnormality. So when we are just talking about the statutory audit, so statutory audit ke andar, we need to test various other things also. We need to touch upon each and every caption of a financial statement. We need to see the classes of the transaction, account balances, or many other things. With the help of data analytics, we can touch upon the each and every caption with an easy and reliable manner. Samples for substantive checking can be drawn based on the insights drawn from the data analytics. If data analytics, we are performing a data analytics tool, so we can just get the samples from the data analytics tool, and we are just doing a CIVOP on that data analytics tool, whether completeness, accuracy, and all these 6 assertions are met or not. So with the help of data analytics, we can extract the samples from the population. Now, how the chartered accountants are in a better position with the help of data analytics when we are just talking about. So data analytics can save the cost of an audit, can increase the quality of audit. How? Sir, when we are working on a large population, then it requires the manpower as well as the cost to get the samples from the entire population. When I'll just take a dump from an organization and get into that software and get the samples from that software, it will save my quality of, it will save my time, it will save my cost, and it will enhance the quality of an audit also. So with this, accountant can improve the quality of audit, save time, and gain valuable insights. It can be presented in table forms, charts, and so on. When we are used the data analytic, when we are used statutory audit by extracting the samples, we can't be able to get everything in a presentable form. But with the help of data analytics tool, we can get all the information in a table form, chart, whatever we can just able to get it. The option is there with the tool, you can get it. So when we are just talking about data analysis or data analytics, so in data analysis or data analytics, there are certain steps we need to follow while go with the population. First of all, understanding the business. Understand the business process, define the organization goal, and plan for a lucrative solution. Sir, what is the business of my entity? We need to understand. One accounting standard, that is SA 315, which cast a responsibility on an auditor just to walk through the business process of an organization, just to understanding the entity and its environment in which they are prevailing. So the first step of data analytics is co-inclined with my standards on auditing 315. Second, collecting data. Gather the right data from various sources and other information based on your priority. Now, secondly, we need to get the data, right data from the right sources, because the data from multiple sources and the sources are not reliable, that is useless for me, and they are not providing me a ample full result, they are nothing. So collecting data from a right sources and the right data, both the thing needs to be co-inclined. Right data with the right sources need to be go by hand in order to achieve the data analytic result. Thirdly, cleaning data. Clean the data to remove unwanted, redundant, and missing values and make it ready for analysis. Or we can say that sanitize the data. How we can, sir, sanitize the data? Sir, first of all, we need to take a dump of an organization wherever we are just getting samples of that population, or we are working on the population, whether it's in Excel, it's in auditing tool, wherever we are doing. First of all, we need to see whether all fields are wanted or unwanted. Unwanted field we need to remove out. Redundant field we need to remove out, and missing figures we need to enter. Then we need to extract the samples from the population, from the entire population. Otherwise, the result will be in vague. The population is not perfectly matched. Fourthly, exploring and analyzing data. Use data visualization and business intelligence tools, data mining techniques, and predictive modeling to analyze data. This fourth point of data analytics is all about SA 520. SA 520 speaks about the analytical procedures. The same data analytic fourth step is saying to each one of us, we need to perform the business intelligence tool, data mining technique, and predictive modeling to analyze the data. SA 520 speaks about the analytical procedure. Auditor has need to obtain a reasonable assurance about the financial statement. They need to perform the analytical procedures. So with this fourth step, we need to data mining techniques and predictive modeling technique, whatever we can just do according to the size and according to the complexity of the data. Now, fifthly, interpreting the result. When we are just doing the data mining, now the result is in front of each one of us. When we are just saying that the result is not appropriated, when we are taking the samples from the population, then from the population, when the samples are extracting, the software has red flag me certain types of samples. So being an auditor, we need to perform our audit procedures in these type of samples. If in these samples, we are getting the material misstatement, we are getting anything which is against the policy of the company, then we need to adopt SA 330, the response to the assessed risk, whether the risk is tolerable or intolerable. If tolerable, then we can go ahead by seeing that. If it is intolerable, then we need to see what we need to do in this. The auditor needs to take in a professional skepticism on this type of issues when the population has certain type of risk in these samples. So this is all about the data analytics steps. When we are just saying from first to fifth, we are just covering with the 3 standards on auditing. The standards of auditing, auditor needs to perform while doing an audit of any organization. Sir, data analytics, we know about it. What are all the steps we need to follow while doing an data analytics with respect to the statutory audit? Now, when we are just saying data analytics, so data analytics are all of 4 types. First one is descriptive analytics. What is this? Descriptive analytics. Data scientists analyze data to understand what happened or what is happening in the data environment. It is characteristics by data visualization such as pie chart, bar chart, line graph, table, or generative narratives. If I can say that what we are doing in the existing practices is the same with this descriptive analytics. Pie chart, bar chart, line graph, table, generated narrative, all we can just able to do with the Excel. So descriptive analytics is all about we need to analyze the data, we need to document the data, what we are just getting from samples from the population. So in the form of pie chart, bar chart, line graph in a descriptive manner. So we can just say that by following with the SA 230 working papers, when we are just making our working paper, we can just use this pie chart, bar chart, line graph, whatever we can just able to use it just to incorporate all the data in a one paper with this help of pie chart, bar charts, everything we can just able to descriptive way. Secondly, diagnostic analysis. Sir, what is this diagnostic analysis? Diagnostic is deal with something deeper analysis. Sir, diagnostic analysis. First, let's go with the definition. Diagnostic analysis is a deep dive or detailed data analytics process to understand why something happened. It is characteristic by techniques such as drill down, data discovery, data mining, and correlation. In each of these techniques, multiple data operation and transformation are used for analyzing raw data. This is a diagnostic technique. I'm just giving you a real one example, which I did an audit of one of the organization. Over there is a organization which have a cost margin industry. They have a margin of 15% on over and above of cost of goods sold. Now, being an auditor, first of all, we need to perform our data on analytics in order to find out what is the cost of goods sold. First of all, we need to get a comfort on cost of goods sold. Secondly, if I am arriving at the value of cost of goods sold, then we need to apply the margin on cost of goods sold. And we need to see whether the GP in the financial statement are co-inclined with that amount, whether the variation was there. If the variation is up to our maternity level, then we can go ahead. If it is variance is more, then we need to do a diagnostic analysis. We need to see where we are lacking just to arrive at the value of cost of goods sold. So in this diagnostic analysis, we need to see the drill down, data discovery, data mining, and we need to set a correlation between the two figures. On cost of goods sold, there is 15% margin is there. So why not 15% are coming in my financial statement? If it is in negligible amount difference is there, we can go ahead. If it is 14%, 13%, then it's a huge amount. May or may not be according to the amount of cost of goods sold. So we need to drill down, we need to get into the formula of cost of goods sold. We need to see what was something is lacking in computing the cost of goods sold by the management, or we are doing something wrong while calculating cost of goods sold. So we need to get drilled down into this formula. Thirdly, predictive analysis. What is this predictive analytics? So predictive analysis use historical data to make accurate forecast about future trends. Sir, tomorrow, if you'll see, example is there, local weather forecast. If I'll just see that tomorrow, the rain will be there, how the weather forecast will be there? They are using by using a historical data, or we can say that the previous data, by taking a help of a tool they have by predicting the future of the future forecast. So predictive analytics use historical data to make accurate forecast about future trend. What is going to happen tomorrow? They are just future predicting the future. It is characteristic by techniques such as machine learning, forecasting, pattern matching, predictive modeling. In each of these techniques, computers are trained to reverse engineer causality connection in the data. What was this, sir? Computers are trained to reverse engineer causality connection in the data. If my local weather forecast, when we are just saying that some typhoons, some flood are hit in West Bengal, something is going to happen. So what we are doing, we are evacuating that place as much possible as we can, as a government can. So what we are doing, we are reversing the casualties of our economy with the help of predictive analytics. And how the analytics predictive are going to be done with the help of data analytics. How this data analytics tools are operating with the help of historical data. So this is all about the predictive analytics. When we are just talking about prescriptive analytics. So prescriptive analytics, let's go with the definition, then we will just take the example. Prescriptive analytics takes predictive data to the next level. It not only predicts what is likely to happen, but also suggests an optimum response to that outcome. It can analyze the potential implications of different choices and recommend the best course of action. It is characteristic for future course of action by graph analysis, simulation, complex event processing, neural networks, and recommendation engines. Let's take an example that is in banking industry. Sir, how the prescriptive analytics go with the banking industry? Sir, let's take an example. Bank has issued a credit card to me with the credit limit of 1 lakh. But I have my spending habit is this, ki I won't be able to spend in each and every one more than 5,000 rupees. I spent 3,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. So what bank did that? Bank put a check in their system. Ki if the amount goes beyond this 5,000, then the red flag will be there. And at that moment of time, my credit card will be cancelled according to my consent. So with this prescriptive analysis, what bank can able to achieve? Bank can reduce the fraud in their entity. Bank can able to reduce the level of fraud in their organization. What banks did, बैंक ने कुछ नहीं किया, बैंक ने एक चेक लगा दिया एनालिटिकल टूल के अंदर कि अगर 5,000 से ऊपर होता है अमाउंट तो यू नीड टू ट्रिगर वन रेड फ्लैग टू मी, और उसके बाद उनकी कंसेंट से उनकी नॉलेज में डाला जाएगा कि आपके अकाउंट में से 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, वॉट एवर द 30,000, 40,000, वॉट एवर द अमाउंट इज देयर स्पेंडिंग ऑन योर क्रेडिट कार्ड. नाउ व्हाट वी नीड टू डू, इट इज स्पेंडिंग बाय यू और नॉट. The same procedure has been adopted by the State Bank of India as of nowadays. Whether the big amount check, when they are going to encash in your bank account, they are give you a call. Otherwise, they will not pass that check. If you are not giving a consent, ki this is signed by me, so and so, that's why they can just able to pass that check. So nowadays, banking are more prone to the risk of fraud. So that's why they are just adopting these data analytical tools in order to minimize the fraud in their organization. Secondly, we have an example of email automation. So what is email automation? When you are just scrolling through any website for a course or whatever you are saying, the chat box was open. How can I help you? So this is a feature of data analytics. They predict the data and take you to the next level. They are converting this lead into a sale. So now organization is putting this analytical tool in their website just to conversion of the lead to a sale. Thirdly, Facebook page, Instagram page. Sir, Facebook, when you are just scrolling the Facebook page and Instagram page, now the Facebook page and Instagram page are using some type of algorithm in their pages. So when you are scrubbing, when you are just searching for shoes, for purchasing of shoe, footwear, whatever you are missing, so you are just getting the pages in relation to that. So what they are using, they are just taking this as a prescriptive analytic data analytics tool. They are putting all these kind of tool in order to analyze key predictive data, taking the predictive data to the next level. So what they are just doing, they are putting the algorithm in their websites and they are just wanted to convert this person into a sale amount. So this is all about the data analytics, descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Friends, audit assertion. Everybody knows about this audit assertion. CBOP. Completeness. C stands for completeness. E stands for existence. A stands for accuracy. V stands for valuation. O stands for rights and obligation. P stands for presentation and disclosure. Being an auditor, we need to take a comfort on each and every caption of financial statement by doing this CBOP audit procedures. My test of, if I'll just do a substantive test of controls, my test of control are good enough. So we need to do a substantive analytical procedure or not, we need to do, but we're taking a small sample size of my population. If my test of control in a mediocre organization, or we can say that in a small organization where there are no test of control, so how the auditor need to perform an audit? Auditor need to perform an audit by taking a large amount of samples from the population, and they need to perform the audit procedure on this large amount of population, and they need to see each and every audit assertion in this large population. Now the question is this: when the test of controls are not good enough in the organization is big, and the organization is big, and that all the test of controls are not good enough, we need to take the samples from the population by using Excel as an analytical tool or by using a data analytics tool. Nowadays, there are a lot of softwares, lot of tools are available, which we can use in order to extract the population, which can red flag the population, sample size in the population. We need to work upon this population. We need to see that population. We need to do and CBOP on this population. This is a type of data analytical tools are available as on date. So all the traditional practice has been shifted to the another level. We need to do the audit of the financial statement by taking help of this analytical tool, because the data is complex and the data is large as of now. Moving ahead, these all are type of tools that will take up by my next co-speaker. So I'll just touch upon a little bit. Excel, as we know that we are using this Excel as an analytical tool since I think so last 15 or 20 years. So Excel is one of the analytical tool which we are using. Idea is a tool which is using Idea is a tool which is using just to extract the samples of the organization. Idea is using by forensic auditor maximum time, because they can able to extract the sample of an organization and do an analysis with the idea. So Python nowadays in vogue. Python, everybody is using the Python because Python can able to interpret the result. Python can able to easily give you an idea about easily you can just able to put a formulas and put a logical operations in this Python, which can't be able to possible in Excel, because Excel, sir, we have a limitation of 10 lakh rows. After 10 lakh rows, we can't do an operation in Excel. So we need to move into another auditing tool. After 10 lakh, we need to move to another auditing tool, because if we are just getting a dump of 20 lakh line item or 50 lakh line item in today era, where data is the When you have a large amount of data and you have an data rows of 50 lakh rupees, you can't be able to do an auditing in an Excel, because Excel has an own limitation of 10 lakh rows. So with the help of Python, we can able to extract the samples with the help of every tools over here. There are a lot of tools. I just kept over here some of the tools. With this help, we can just able to extract the data. Some have its own pros, some have its own cons. Each and every organization can able to apply these tools according to the nature and the size and complexity of the data they have. So friends, we have 2 or 3 case study with me. I'll take the first case study. E-commerce industry like Flipkart, Amazon. Chartered accountants are hired by management of e-commerce industry and for the purpose of business process re-engineering. That is business processing re-engineering. What is business processing re-engineering? Just to optimize the business process and just to reduce the cost. If I'll just say in a simple language, मेरे business का sale revenue side बढ़ जाए, cost side कम हो जाए. This is all about business process re-engineering. Let's take an example of revenue leakage is there or not. Being an auditor, chartered accountant, I was just hired by Flipkart and Amazon, and they are expecting from me, Mr. Gaurav Malhotra, and you have to do an audit whether there is any revenue leakage in my operation or not. Whether I can able to do with the Excel when that tool have a limitation of 10 lakh rows. The answer is no. We can adopt other audit techniques, other tools in order to see, extract the samples or whatever the working we want to do, we can't be able to do in Excel because Excel has its own limitations of 10 lakh rows. They are just Flipkart or Amazon have provided me a dump of 50 lakh rows. I can extract all the dump in my Excel. I can able to see only the 10 lakh rows, first 10 lakh rows. And if my revenue leakage is being below that 10 lakh rows, the sample which I won't be able to see. So how can I perform my audit procedure when the data is not complete? So what is my humble submission through this case study is this: we need to adopt some other audit tools, some other audit techniques in order to perform an audit procedures, in order to just to get a sample. Audit procedures are same, but we need to see कि इतने बड़े data site पे we need to get the samples from the data analytics tools. Moving ahead, banking industry. Management of banking industry hiring you as a statutory auditor, financial caption auditor needs to verify. Banking industry has appointed me as an auditor. Let's take an example of PSU. Public sector undertaking has appointed me an auditor, often branch auditor. So I can able to perform my audit procedure on an Excel because branch is not as much big. They have a line item of 10 lakh. I'm presuming that. When I was appointed as an central statutory auditor and when we are doing an audit of one of the big, when we are doing audit by sitting at the head office level, how can I verify statutory liquidity ratio when I don't have any tools with me? Or we need to rely on the data of the management. At the time of doing an audit of the PSU bank, the manager is always reluctant to provide you a data. They always say that, sir, everything is system driven. How can I manipulate the data? Everything is controlled from head office. Branch auditor is saying, and when you are just visiting the head office, sir, this is a system audit report is there, and when everything is clean, so why you are just doing this? Rely on the system values which are giving by the system of the banking. So either we need to put a reliance on the value shown by the system of the organization, or we need to perform our audit procedure. So we need to perform our audit procedure. As standards of auditing has already put a responsibility on me, we need to perform our audit procedure. Too good to be true is a line when we see that when everything is looking for good, this is not too much good. Something is there in this data. So what statutory liquidity ratio we need to see? We can't be able to compute the statutory liquidity ratio when we are sitting at the head office level with the help of Excel. We need to adopt some auditing tools. whatever may be the auditing tools according to the complexity and according to the nature of the data, but Excel has its own limitation. Proper classification of NPA accounts. Now the manager and the head office level, everybody is saying that, sir, everything is system driven, sir. Everything we NPA, all accounts are NPA or not, they are classified and they are red flagged by the system. So, sir, everything is system driven. Then what we are doing? What we are doing? We need to check. We need to test the population. If they are system driven, when the controls are effective, then still we need to perform the substantive analytical procedure on a smaller amount of population rather than the big amount of population. So when the controls are not effective, then we need to increase the sample size of my population in order to get the comfort on the financial caption. Non-KYC compliant account. Now the bank is facing this huge problem as of now. Every banking industry is facing this, not non-KYC. Now, whenever you are just approaching the branch, there was an article in the Business Standard. Now the banks have and get a notice from the RBI nowadays just to get all the accounts are KYC compliant. Now, every day banking has given a call to the customer. They are just wanting ki you just comply with the KYC, because the RBI wanting ki KYC needs to get compliant by each and every account holder after 2 or 3 years, whether he is live or not, whether his account is used by some other person, whether used by he or she. This is the main reason behind the KYC compliant. Sir, next. Fintech sector. When we are just talking about the Paytm, BharatPe, PhonePe, GPay, etc., these all are fintech sector. When external consultant was hired by stakeholders, to see whether all statutory compliances are properly met or not, whether any revenue leakage is there or not, all accounts are properly KYC compliant or not. Sir, फिंटेक सेक्टर, पेटीएम इज अ फिंटेक सेक्टर. फिंटेक सेक्टर में आरबीआई की जो रिपोर्ट आई थी, दे आर जस्ट सेइंग दैट कि पेटीएम इज नॉन कंप्लायंट विद द केवाईसी नॉर्म. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर जस्ट गेटिंग rid away with the payment bank license. So now, though any fintech sector has appointed me as an external consultant, you can just see whether any revenue leakage is there or not, whether all the statutory compliances are met or not. Sir, we have an n number line of items with me. How can I perform the audit procedure when we are not adopting this audit tools? When we are not seeing that which audit tool we need to adopt? Let's take an example. Paytm has an 50 lakh customer database. So in order to perform audit procedure, we need to see in order to perform the audit procedure, we need to see which all accounts are non-compliant with KYC. First of all, we need to get that data at a one place. Will it possible with the Excel? The answer is no. It's not possible with the Excel. We need to take some other tool in order to get all the data at a one place, then perform the audit procedures in that place to see what all accounts are non-compliant, what all accounts have a revenue leakage. Paytm has a revenue from various sources. Firstly, they have an revenue from merchant banker. They get a subsidy from the UPI transaction. They get a commission from the insurance sector when you are just going to pay the insurance premium with the platform of Paytm. Lot of n number of things is there. When this platform or this fintech sector has appointed you as an external auditor, how you will perform an audit, or how will you perform, or how will you check the statutory compliances when you don't know about the audit tools? We need to change our traditional practices. We need to shift from traditional practice to the next level practices by taking a data analytics tool in order to extract the samples from the population, or any analytical exercise what we want to do. Let's take an example of idea tool is there. We can able to extract the samples from an idea tool. Apart from extracting sample, we can do an analytics with that data also in an idea tool. Which information extracted by the idea may or may not be useful for the management, but the information provided by the idea may or may not be useful. Moving ahead. Fourth one is management of banking industry hire you as a forensic auditor of multinational company ABC Private Limited, which were dealing in jewelry business. He took loan of 1,000 crore and the entire amount loan was siphoned off. You are being appointed as a forensic auditor of ABC multinational company, which are dealing with the jewelry business. They took a loan from a bank of 1,000 CR. Now the entire loan was siphoned off with the practices, with the documentation, with everything. Now the banking channel has approach to a chartered accountant. They really wanted to know the exact reason for the siphon of the money, whether they are really a loss or they are just making us as a fool just to predicting it as a loss, but the entire amount was siphoned off by the organization. So forensic audit, it's not all about an audit of a certain amount of transaction from a population. It's all about the fraud and detection audit. We need to see the entire population. We need to perform our audit procedure. We need to see what audit procedure we need to perform, because the amount of 1,000 crore rupees has been involved, and the banking industry wants a report from ABC Chartered Accountant Company. You need to do the thorough audit of this multinational company and give me a report where this money goes. क्या ये actual loss है या the entire amount was siphoned off by the multinational company? So in this forensic audit, we can't be able to do an audit with the help of Excel, because we can't be able to do the analytics with this Excel. Our institute is also promoting the software of IDEA when everybody is going for certification of forensic audit, where they are just providing this IDEA with a limited number of line items at that moment of time. Nowadays, I don't know what was the collaboration with the IDEA tool, whether it's free for the members or not. So the IDEA tools is used by the forensic auditor in order to get the data and in order to do the analytical procedures on that data. Last and the fifth one is case study statutory audit of PSU. Chartered accountant was hired for doing an audit of PSU. Sir, my question to this entire house is this: we, being a chartered accountant, was appointed as an auditor of PSU, public sector undertaking. Inherent test of control. Being an auditor, we need to perform a test of control. Tests of control are good enough, we can say that. So our population size is low. For the compliance, for statutory audit of PSU, we are doing test of controls of our population. So test of controls are good, effective enough for the in an organization. Now we are heading towards the analytical procedure, substantive analytical procedure. So we need to take a sample size. We need to take a sample size from that population with a less amount, because my internal controls are effective and efficient. So we need to take a sample size less. So still we are just taking a sample size less. Still the risk is there, to whom we call it as an inherent risk with the statutory audit. While doing in statutory audit, we always, there's inherent risk always prevail in a statutory audit. But in order to reduce the inherent risk, we can just extend our audit procedure. That's it. Apart from that, some inherent risk will always prevail. So the question is this. Now, the question is this. We, being an auditor, the information provided by the entity, we need to rely on that dump, or we need to take an management representation from an auditor, from the management. When we are just doing an audit of an MNC or of an client, they are not ready to provide me any certificate any certificate which shows that my dump which I have been provided to you is complete, accurate, and data integrity is there in that data. When I approach to MNC client, I am just telling here how we can ensure the reliability of this data, how we can ensure the integrity of this data. He said that, sir, you can sit with me. I'm extracting the data from the system and just mail you. They never give you a certificate for this, for the data integrity and the data complete and data insurance. But when we are just doing an audit of PSU, we can able to get the certificate from the PSU, because as per the data analytics of C and AG, they are just providing me the guidelines that we need to take the indicative template of certificate of completeness, consistency and integrity of the data. We need to take the certificate from this PSU, whether the data is complete, accurate, consistent, on which we need to perform our audit procedure. Agar wo kehta hai ki you can just extract the data in front of me, still we can just able to get the data, because C and AG guidelines issued 2070 has given me a relaxation just to get this certificate, but client will never give you apart from PS. Moving ahead. Sir, this is also one of the buzzing topic for the data analytics. When we are just talking about data analytics. Sir, whether data analytics is a threat or opportunities for the chartered accountants. Whether data analytics is a threat or opportunity for the chartered accountant. Let's see. As the accountant can leverage their skills and knowledge to work with structured and unstructured data, data analytics software can only let flag the transaction. Sir, data analytics technique are always win-win situation for each one of us, because it will bring a lot of opportunity for each one of us just to analyze the data in a simple manner, or analyze the data in a structured data, in a raw data into a structure or in a simple manner. Sir, but this opportunity has already opened a lot of plethora of forums for each one of chartered accountant. What are all these areas? Business processing redesigning. What is this business processing redesigning? Nowadays, a chartered accountant get into this business processing redesigning. Internal audit is always there, but nowadays non-listed entities are big. Non-listed entity are also wanted. Internal audit to karwa lete hain. Some validation will be there. So, sir, how we can just able to do a value addition? How we can just business processing redesigning, optimizing their revenue and decreasing their cost? How we can just able to do? We can just able to do with the help of data analytics. Data analytics is now never be an threat for our profession. This is my personal opinion, sir. Never be an, because by the end of the day, whatever the tools we are using, we need to perform our professional judgment, and the professional skepticism has cast the responsibility by SA 200 on each one of us. So data अगर एनालिटिक के थ्रू हम कर रहे हैं, जो भी कर रहे हैं, बाकी data is in front of me. Whether we put a reliance on this data or not, this is my professional judgment and professional skepticism. How we need to use that data. So this is always a win-win situation for me, and this is not a threat. This is catalyst as an opportunity for each one of us. With this, I rest my lecture and handing over my lecture to my next co-speaker, Akshay Agarwal. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Gaurav sir, for such an informative session. So the first half of the session was taken up by CA Gaurav sir, and now the remaining will be delivered by CA Akshay Agarwal. Let me welcome and introduce our another eminent speaker, CA Akshay Agarwal. He qualified CA course in the year 2014. He is also a qualified CFA. His experience is in business consultancy, stat and forensic audits, revenue audits, analysis of complex data structures, as well as taxation for various listed entities as well as multinational corporations across the industry. He has also worked with some renowned organizations such as Thakur Vaidyanath Ayer and Company and KPMG. He is currently heading a CA firm in Delhi and offering diversified services to the client across the country with expertise in GST consultancy and litigation. He has also completed various courses conducted by ICAI, such as Concurrent Audit of Banks, FAFD, DISA, and Diploma in International Taxation. He is actively contributing his articles and journals on multiple professional topics as well as platforms. So this was a brief introduction of Akshay sir. Now I would like to request Akshay sir to take the proceedings further and enlighten our esteemed members. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Akash. Thanks for your, I would say, very encouraging words. So, first of all, I would like to thank the, our AASB board also for providing us an opportunity to share our views with our colleagues. And Akash, if it is comfortable, should I speak in Hindi and English mix? Will it be feasible?
Yes,
हाँ,
will be good.
ठीक है. तो आकाश जी स्टार्ट करते हैं जहाँ से गौरव जी ने खत्म किया है. जितना हम समझ पाए गौरव जी की बात, मोर और लेस उसका जो क्रक्स है वो यही है कि डेटा एनालिटिक्स आज की डेट में इट इज नॉट अ प्रिविलेज, इट इज वन ऑफ द नेसेसिटी इन स्टैट ऑडिट. और जब हम लोग स्टैट ऑडिट की बात करते हैं तो आई फील everybody the stakeholders from government to revenue departments to buyers, sellers, customers, and everybody. So everybody expect from we as an auditor that whatever financials we are signing, whatever the audit reports we are sharing, those should provide not only the true and fair view, but to a certain extent, it perceived as a true and correct view by the stakeholders. So I personally feel कि सर आज की डेट में एज एन ऑडिटर हमारी जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है, एटलीस्ट जो मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है, वो काफी ज्यादा बढ़ गई है. और जैसे पहले कभी होता था कि हमारा जो मेट्रोलॉजिकल डिपार्टमेंट अगर कुछ एक अनुमान लगा रहा था कि बारिश होगी, तो इट मे और मे नॉट बी. बट आज की डेट में अगर वो कहते हैं कि इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ रेड अलर्ट इन दिल्ली फॉर द रेन्स, इट विल बी अ रेनिंग डे. तो सिमिलरली हमारे ऊपर भी आज की डेट में आई थिंक ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ गई है एज एन ऑडिटर कि अगर हम अपनी कोई भी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में कोई भी हम ओपिनियन दे रहे हैं, तो दैट ओपिनियन हैज टू बी true and correct, and to a certain extent it has to be near to the reality. We cannot take a excuse ki ji it is just our opinion. It is not possible today. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है लास्ट एटलीस्ट 7 to 8 years में, स्पेशली डिमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद, जीएसटी आने के बाद, हम लोगों से जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है वो सैंपल से ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन पे ओपिनियन की आई वुड से स्टेक होल्डर्स करने लगे हैं. Now the stakeholders want to give our audit report not only on the basis of samples that we have found as per our standards of auditing, but they are expecting that we have taken care of all the population, the entire population. मैं मेरे को बहुत एक सिंपल सा केस याद आता है, पंजाब नेशनल बैंक का जो एक इशू हुआ था. आपको याद होगा, Punjab National Bank is such a huge bank. It has so many loans, so many creditors. Out of that, only one loan was having some issues back in 2016. And the havoc it created in the industry, not only in the banking, but in the profession of accounting and auditing also, that everybody was on this, that why the same has not been identified and reported by the auditor on the timely basis. Although everybody knows auditing is on sampling basis, and sampling do not cover the 100% population. But the expectation of the community today, I think it is not less than that of the population, the entire population. तो सर जब ये ट्रांजिशन आ गया है हमारी सोसाइटी में, जब हमसे एक्सपेक्टेशन सैंपल की जगह पॉपुलेशन पे करी जा रही है, तो सर वी डू हैव लिमिटेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, वी डू हैव लिमिटेशन ऑफ टाइमिंग्स इन आवर प्रोफेशन. तो सर अब उतने ही समय में, उतने ही रिसोर्सेज में, और कहीं ना कहीं उतनी ही फीस में. फीस भी ऐसा नहीं है कि फीस हमारी एज अ प्रोफेशनल वर्ल्ड में हमारी गोइंग 10 times or 20 times in the last 5 or 10 years. So we have to get something which bring our opinion from sample to population with those constraints of resources and timings. So I believe data analytics is one that magic wand with us to all the professionals, जो हमारे को सैंपल से पॉपुलेशन की तरफ लेके भी जाएगा. ये भी कंस्ट्रेंट्स है, इसको टेक केयर भी करेगा, इसको आंसर भी करेगा. कीपिंग दिस एज अ बैकग्राउंड, एंड जो गौरव जी ने जितना हमको डिटेल में बताया, उसके बेसिस पे हम ये सेशन आगे बढ़ाते हैं. तो इसमें सर सबसे पहली चीज, हम अगेन दिस इज माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन, we have bifurcated the data analytics into 3 stages. जैसे सर मोबाइल्स एंड टेलीकम्युनिकेशन लाइन में है 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G. So we have just bifurcated these data analytics into 3 generations. First generation belong to CAT tools. I think आज से 15 years back or 10 years back, it was in part of our CA courses that there are audit tools, CAT tools, computer assisted audit tools, and all those things. So that was required. So these were generation 1. The purpose of those tools was so that we get a brief, we get an overview of the data. समटाइम आई थिंक आज से 25 साल पहले या 20 साल पहले सर जब मैनुअल अकाउंटिंग होती थी या कंप्यूटराइज बहुत लिमिटेड अकाउंटिंग होती थी, ऑडिटर्स रोल वाज मोर ऑफ टू reconcile the trial balance, more of to see the financial numbers in the financial statement, whether they are going in the right grouping, in the right head, and that was a major priority. And before advent of the accounting standard, this was one of the only responsibilities, I believe, because in manual accounting there was nothing possible beyond this. With the advent of few accounting softwares, few computers, I think the accounting profession has changed. Now, though those basic responsibilities of compiling the financial statement at one place, it has been over from the auditor also and from the accountant also. So both the auditee and the auditor, they get a chance to move to look further. So there comes the second generation tools. Second generation tools include like our basic accounting softwares, not even basic, some advanced accounting softwares which give you ratios, analysis, which gives you the dashboards, the all the sort of reporting you want to see. There was tools like Excel. Excel was not so much prevalent till 2010 or 11. Only few of the professionals knew it. Nobody else in the market got much on-hand experience on those tools. So at that time, Excel used to be a very good tool. I think till GST, it's only, I would say, the elite professionals like chartered accountants, they have the knowledge of how to use the Excel, to summarize the data, to propagate the data, to just make various reports and everything. Other than chartered accountants, mostly the clients or the auditors, they used to just see the things. Wow, they are just making the work so fast. It's after GST or after demonetization, that the technology spread it immensely. The users spread it immensely, and nowadays Excel is a common thing for all of us. So I count Excel and those accounting tools and accounting software as generation 2 data analytics, which actually gave us a bird eye view of how the things are doing, how the ratios are moving, how the comparative data are moving. So that was level 2. Now post COVID, when everything or I would say most of the things get computerized, got systematic, because during COVID, the work has to be, many things, and most of the organizations was from work from home. So work from home is not possible until unless you make a systematic procedure of everything. So when the everything got systemized, and the use of technology was one of the most important thing. So now the third generation of data analytics came into picture, at least for the accounting and auditing professions, whereby we are not supposed to only do the vouching, we are not supposed to only verify the vouchers, rather we are expected to analyze and report on the transactions of the business. It's like, sir, now we are not expected to just to make just to review the BRS. Initially, we are supposed to review the BRS whether the bank is reconciled or not, and but now we are expected to review the entire bank statements, how the money is moving, where the money is moving, how the money is being recorded in the books of accounts. So this is the sort of transition I feel which has been done in our industries in last 7 to 8 years, more specifically after COVID. So data analytics is one thing which will definitely require us to move from the sample to population, because only with the help of data analytics we are able to get the same output on a larger part of the population, if not 100%, at least most of it, which we are getting the results on a very small part of samples before it. So moving on, so there are two things in data analytics from here on. One is what is data analytics, what needs to be done, what is the parameters, what are the measurements, what are its uses, and second is how to apply the data analytics in our own businesses. एक बहुत छोटा सा उसके लिए एग्जांपल लेते हैं मैम. लास्ट 2 to 3 years से जीएसटी में इनकम टैक्स में जितने भी नोटिस आ रहे हैं, अगर हम मेजरली सभी नोटिस को एनालिसिस करें अपने क्लाइंट्स का, तो हम सबका आई थिंक एक कॉमन ओपिनियन बनेगा कि गवर्नमेंट के पास हमारे क्लाइंट के पैन नंबर से रिलेटेड मल्टीपल सोर्सेस से डेटाज आते हैं. इट कुड बी फ्रॉम रजिस्ट्रार ऑफिस, इट कुड बी फ्रॉम CDSL, it could be from banks, it could be from the TDS portals. And what government is doing, government is just compiling all those data and they are reconciling, and they found some irregularity between data from various sources and they just sent a notice. ऐसा रेयरली हो रहा है आज की डेट में कि नोटिस कोई आता है तो विदाउट बेस आता है या ऑन द डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट आता है या फिर री ओपिनियन ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट आता है. Those cases are very less in numbers. In most of the cases, and when I say most, I personally believe it is somewhere like 90%. All the notices, whether in GST, in income tax, or in other cases also, they are the government, the departments, they are just putting data analytics into the play. They are collecting data from multiple resources. They are playing with that data. They are, getting results from the data, and the conclusion they derive, that becomes the base of their notice. And generally, those bases are very true, and those bases are something which are of factual natures. Those are generally not of their opinion. So when the notice comes on the basis of facts, it's very difficult for any assessee just to deny that allegations. So the first question is how data analytics is used. So सर, हमारे जो डिपार्टमेंट है या जो गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटीज है जो नोटिस देती है, और हमारा एज अ प्रोफेशनल, it's a legal duty to fight for a client in the right manner within the four corners of the law. So if our opponent, I would say in this case, if the department is using data analytics to generate their notices, and if we are not using data analytics for making our replies, then I think it is not a level field play for us. And this time we cannot claim, we cannot say, we cannot request the department कि सर आप डेटा एनालिटिक्स यूज मत करो क्योंकि हम नहीं कर रहे. गवर्नमेंट ने लास्ट 5 to 7 years में they have spent heavily on the capex just to create the database, integrate the database, and reconcile the database. I just repeat what I said. They have spent heavily to create the database, to integrate the database, and to reconcile the database. These are the three pillars of the data analytics for any organization, be it be a 1 lakh CR annual turnover, be it a 1 CR annual turnover. These are the three pillars. So as an auditor, when we are going for some stat audit, our ultimate objective is to gain or gather audit evidences so as to make our audit opinion and provide an audit report to the client. So these are the three broad steps. First, to gather audit evidences. Secondly, to make audit opinion on the basis of standards on auditing, which give us, SA 705, 706, 710, which tell us how to use these audit evidences to make our audit opinion. And third is to sign and to publish and sign the audit report to the client. So everything of these three pillars, the first and the foremost, gathering audit evidences, is the key. Because if the audit evidences gathered by us is correct, true, and factual in nature, our audit opinion will be accordingly correct. And if our audit opinion is correct, definitely a report will be correct. So the entire focus of the stat audit, it comes to how to gather the audit evidences. Again, the audit evidences needs to be correct and complete. There is no use of some audit evidences if it is, I would say, if it is available with us, but the sort of evidence it is providing us, it is not conclusive or it is not reliable. For example, sometimes क्या होता है मैम कि हम लोगों ने कोई एक क्लाइंट का हमने उसके सेल का ऑडिट करा, हमने उसका सारा रेवेन्यू चेक करा, हमने उसमें कुछ सैंपल लिए, सैंपल्स हमने ड्यूली वेरीफाई करे एंड एवरीथिंग वाज देयर और सैंपल्स वर करेक्ट. So we made an opinion as an auditor कि boss, audit evidences are there that the revenue is correct and we move on to the next level. But while checking the other heads of the balance sheet and P&L, if something comes to our knowledge, there is a misreporting of expense, which was actually the revenue, but it was reporting in the expense. So our earlier audit evidence, we need to review it again. It's not that we have done something wrong. It's the problem was we have tested a small sample or a reasonable sample, and we are making our opinion on the population, because that's what about audit is. Audit does not allow us to give our audit opinion on the samples process or the sample we have reviewed. The audit procedure requires the stat auditor to give opinion on the entire balance sheet and P&L of the or the financial statements of the assessee of the client. Now the entire balance sheet is represented by the population, not only by the sample. So data analytics help us to ensure that the sample size is either it is 100% population or it is near to 100% population, so that our audit evidences are more or less concrete and complete. So there are very few chances if we use data analytics that the audit evidences we gather is either incomplete or non-reliable. So that is how we are going to use data analytics. मैम अगर हम किसी छोटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की बात करें, अगर हमारा कोई क्लाइंट है लेट्स से जिसकी टर्नओवर इट्स इन वेरी फ्यू करोड्स, the number of transactions are let's say less than 100, even in that case are we going to rely on a sample? Or professionally, generally we take care of the trial balance, we just review it, and it will not take 4 to 5 hours, and we just go it through almost the 100%. And the sort of comfort as an auditor we got in such audit is definitely more than as compared to another audit where we just gone through only the 1% of the transaction. So if we use data analytics, we could get a similar sort of comfort in the audits where the number of transactions are complex and much more in the quantum. So data analytics work as it is just like a time machine. It acts like the multiplier machine. It brings a clients of 1 lakh crore turnover in terms of simplicity as an auditor as like a 1 crore revenue assessing. So nowadays, what we all of us are doing, if I being in stat audit, let me just take a discussion head by head. So let's start with the profit and loss account. The broad heads we have is sales, we have purchases, we have direct expenses, indirect expenses, opening stock, closing stock. These are the broad 6 heads we do. Now let's discuss the things with data analytics, without data analytics. First, let's go with the revenue. So while doing the audit of a revenue in a traditional practice, generally what we do, we just take the sales sum, we take out the samples on a scientific basis, and we do our detailed analytical and review procedures on those samples, and few other procedures like cutoff procedures and all those things, and we make sure that the samples represent the population, and if the sample is correct, the population is correct. This is our traditional practice. Now, what changes with data analytics? In data analytics, we will try to take dump of the entire sales, 100% sales. Whatsoever be the count, whatsoever be the amount. We will compare that thing from other sources. Now, other sources are generally, I would say, 2 to 3 sources. First, our GST returns or our excise returns in case of, I would say, petrol and everything, or our export returns, और जो भी हमारे external sources हैं. In data analytics, we will compare almost 100% of our dump with 100% of the external sources. First. Secondly, we will perform a reconciliation or a matching through data analytical tools of our sales dump with our bank statements. Now, in case the client is 98% correct in recording the sales, but he has done a mistake of 2%. in the traditional practice, there is very few chances that such a small error of 2% will come in our sampling, or it will detected by us in a traditional practice of auditing. But in data analytics, it is high chances even 2% or even 0.2% of the errors will be covered or will be identified by us. So this will give us two benefits as a professional. Firstly, we are getting good quality of audit evidences, and thereby our quality of audit report will enhance. Secondly, when we bring such anomalies or such errors in light to the management, we do add value not only to the client but to our profession also. The client feels that this stat audit, it is not just a compliance he has to do. He has to incur expenses for the sake of getting audited as made compulsory by the act, by the statutes. The client must feel the value addition he is getting. And ma'am, this is the only thing. The value addition is the only thing which makes any profession sustainable and respectable. हम सभी ने देखा होगा, कुछ क्लाइंट्स हमारे ऐसे होते हैं जो बहुत इज्जत से बात करते हैं, कुछ क्लाइंट्स को कुछ खास फर्क नहीं पड़ता प्रोफेशनल से. कहीं ना कहीं अगर हम एनालाइज करेंगे तो ये रीजन होगा कि जिस क्लाइंट के लिए हमने कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन करी है, we have given some good advices, we have given some early warning system for that, for some problem they are going to face in the future. That client generally respect the professional, not only us but the entire professional world he will respect. But if we are not giving any value addition to the client, today or tomorrow he is not going to pay much respect or attention to our values. So that is the first and foremost thing which we get with the data analytics. Data analytics makes us relevant for today, for the client, for the industry and our profession. This is the first and foremost thing. Now coming to the second head, let's move to purchases. Again, while reviewing the purchases, I think it's very redundant to say that today it is not feasible that we check each and every invoice from the file of the invoice or from the database of the client. But the sort of errors, the sort of notices, the sort of responses we get from the various regulators and revenue authorities, they are pinpointing the issues, whether it could be wrong ITC, it could be ineligible ITC, or it could be bogus purchases. The departments, the regulators, including MCA, they are pointing out at invoice level that, boss, we are giving this notice, there seems to be something fishy in so and so list of the invoices. So when the regulators and departments are working at invoice level, how can we still continue our work at ledger level? Because if we are doing our audit on the ledger level, we will take 2 to 3 or let's say 1 to 2% of the sample at the ledger level. But what departments are processing, what departments are, what they are scrutinizing, they are scrutinizing the invoice level. So it's our duty that we also upgrade our audit practices, our audit procedures to the extent possible to the invoice level, because invoice level is the first level from where the ledgers will be compiled, and from ledgers the financials will be compiled. If we are able to get comfort at the transaction level, at the invoice level, if we are able to match the details from various sources, it could be GST returns, could be bank statements, it could be third party vendor ledgers, it could be other sources also. We have to match all the records as far as possible at the invoice level. This is not possible with the help of traditional audit tools. We have to take into consideration data analytics. And many of the times, even we do not realize that we are using data analytics. Data analytics, it is not limited to one or two software or one or two audit practice. Anything and everything where we want to take some decision on the basis of some data, not on the basis of some theories or some fictions or some assumptions. we are doing data analytics. हम लोग जब अपने एग्जाम दे रहे होते हैं तो क्वेश्चंस को समझ के जब हम उसके आंसर्स बना रहे होते हैं, वी आर डूइंग डेटा एनालिटिक्स. आज अगर हम किसी क्लाइंट का अगर हम उसकी बैलेंस शीट रिव्यू कर रहे हैं, वी आर कंपेयरिंग द नंबर्स with the schedules, with the face of the balance sheet. We are doing data analytics. The thing is, data analytics, it is not something which is fixed to a particular level. It could be as deep as transaction level. It could be as shallow as financials level. How much deep or how much shallow we need to do for a particular client for a particular area, that is being guided by our professional judgment, that is being guided by the materiality concept. So I'm not saying that we should put data analytics in each and every field or each and every head of the financial statement, but any head which is more or less risk prone or vulnerable to some frauds or inherent risk is high, we have to move towards deeper data analytical tools. मुझे ध्यान है, आई थिंक आज से कुछ साल पहले तक बैंकिंग, जब हम लोग बैंक ऑडिट्स करते थे तो हम लोग उनका ट्रायल बैलेंस लेते थे और वी जस्ट गेट अ लिस्ट ऑफ loans and advances for the branch, get it sorted manually, and we just highlight ki we want to review these files first. This was the data analytics. It was relevant at that time because that was the best tool available. Getting the list was the only and easiest thing for us to start our audit and move on. But today if we want to pick our samples, or today if we want to start a review, sorting is definitely required, but sorting is not the only thing which is required. We will take delinquency report, we will take the civil report, we will take every outstanding report, we will take other parameters also. Now adding 4 to 5 parameters further will increase our data analytics. This is the only thing which is called data analytics. It is not some fancy words. It is not something something has to be done to meet the definition of data analytics. Whenever we are making our decisions, we are making our professional opinions more on the bigger data size as compared to the erstwhile data size is data analytics. Now it depends on each professional how much deep data analytical tools he wants or she wants to use or not, and how much comfort they want to cover. Like in other industries, like if you go in the operational research industries, or in medical industries, or let's say in some particular industries like rocket science and everybody, they do not say success or failure. They talks about chances of success or chances of failure. So for some industries, if the chances of failure is less than 5%, they say we are okay. But for some industries, they say if chances of failure is less than 1%, we are okay. So this is how we have to see in our accounting and auditing profession world, that we have to bring our chances of failure of gathering wrong audited evidences to as short as possible. And higher the depth of data analytical tools we use, higher are the chances of success, or lower are the chances of the failure of our opinions. So this is how we move on. Now coming to the next thing, I think we have covered sales, we have covered purchases. Next is stocks. Very interestingly, in last budget, government has provision whereby the valuation of inventories can be done by the certified valuers of the department, including cost auditors. Now, until generally before that, as an auditor, what we are supposed to verify, we are supposed to, for stat audit specific I'm talking, we are supposed to verify whether the physical stock taking of 31st March has been done or not. We have to personally, visit on sample basis. We have to just see the procedure, whether the stock taking is in the correct manner or not. This was more of a nature. Secondly, we have to check the valuations done by the management, which is LIFO, FIFO, and accounting based. Now there are high chances that the assessee or the auditee, it has it has 10 types of assets or 10 types of inventories. The asset count or the inventory count, physical count is perfect, but the categorization of a particular item into particular inventory type will increase the or decrease the cost of that particular inventory through LIFO, FIFO, average cost, whichever be the method. So just to ensure that the client is not manipulating the closing stock by keeping the physical count intact, by keeping the valuation method intact, just by moving or categorizing once, let's say stock A as stock B. It is highly possible because when we have taken a sample basis, we might not cover the 100%. We might have covered 30%, 40%, or whatever be the uh, asset size or inventory size we could cover. But if we go with the data analytics, what we will do, we will take the dump of the inventory, we will rework or reconstruct the inventory register for the year by um, by comparing, by matching inward, outward, opening and closing. And once the number is recomputed by us using that data analytics, now that number needs to be very much close to the number actually computed by the management. In case it is similar or same, it's very good. As an auditor, our data analytical tools have made us reach that particular calculation, and now we will definitely have much more reliance and comfort on those valuations rather than the erstwhile procedures on that sample basis. In case there is a difference, and there is a remarkable difference, then these analytical tools will help us know that which is the area, which particular stock class or which particular item class is there in which that major difference belongs to, and we can help it or we can just found the difference with that. Because it has been seen many times, even during assessments, that the client finds that there are some manual errors or there are some human interventions due to which the numbers got fudged or incorrect. But as an auditor, due to sample procedures, we are unable to find out those glitches well in time. So just to increase the reliability of our working of our audit evidences, the data analytical tools will help us in those inventory calculations. So what I propose or what I say, in inventories, we do have purchase once we have comfort on purchases, we have comfort on sales, we have the opening stock from the last year. What we need to do on using those tools, we have to reconstruct the inventory movement register. Again, in Excel, in Python, in any tool you are comfortable with. When we see a data analytical tool, we do not specify any world tool. If the quantum is short, it could be through on a pen or paper also. But we need to work on that data. Once we have recomputed the entire inventory working, and again, if we use the correct tool, it will not take more than 2 to 3 hours. Now, the comfort, the level of work paper we are having in our files, it will not only give comfort to us, but in case something goes wrong and if some authority, because आज की डेट में we never know, सेट ऑडिटर को कल सेबी बुलाएगा या सीबीआई बुलाएगा या डिपार्टमेंट बुलाएगा, because stat audit report is used by each and everybody of them. And it's been seen that they do write letters कि बॉस ये हमें प्रॉब्लम मिली है, इस पे आपके एक्शन क्यों ना लिया. So at that time, that particular piece of paper or that working will help us. Because we have recalculated this number on these bases, and these are the calculations you currently see. We are not sure the client is correct or not, but these are bases. And once we show our calculations on our basis, again with the within the limitations of our ethics, like prior approval and everything, it will make our case stronger. It will protect us as a professional, and it will enhance the confidence of authorities of auditee in us. So data analytics will ultimately multiply our outcome without increasing our efforts. So this is one tool. So that's why when we say it's a buzzing word, that's why it's buzzing word, because it is going to increase our efficiency without increasing our cost. और कई जगह पे अगर आप देखेंगे आज की डेट में, अब जैसा भी आईटीआर हुए सभी जगह, कुछ केसेस ऐसे आप सभी को मिले होंगे जहाँ पे कि आपके जो क्लाइंट्स हैं वो कुछ ट्रांजेक्शन मिस कर गए, बट गवर्नमेंट रिकॉर्ड्स में एआईएस टीआईएस में वो ट्रांजेक्शन दिख रही है. इट कुड बी शेयर मार्केट, इट कुड बी प्रॉपर्टी सेलिंग, एंड दोज डेटा एक्चुअली हेल्प यू एज अ प्रोफेशनल टू रिमाइंड द क्लाइंट कि बॉस आपने ये चीज, आपने ट्रांजेक्शन करी थी, डोंट यू रिमेम्बर? एंड द क्लाइंट्स वर शॉक्ड कि आपको कैसे पता. So this is the power of data analytics. When we get data analytics tools in our auditing system, we will get those numbers, we will get those outcomes which will actually shock the client that how we can find the issues, or we can find the leakages in the records in a small time of 5 days, 10 days, which their team is not able to find out in 1 year. When the entire year their team is working, the audit team is working. So coming to our next topic, indirect taxes. Indirect expenses. There's very one interesting thing. There was a clause 34 of tax audit for almost 10 years. Do clause 34 says we have to report on the sample basis, or does it ask for the entire number? Entire number section wise कितना TDS कटना चाहिए, कितने पे कटना चाहिए, कितना TDS कटा, कितना short कटा, कितना interest हो. So does the tax audit, the tax authorities want us to report on sample basis or on the population basis? And let me remind, the tax audit report form 3CD belongs to auditor, not to the SSC. So we can't say कि सर ये तो SSC ने रेडी किया था. टैक्स ऑडिट रिपोर्ट तो हमारी है ना मैम, हम साइन कर रहे हैं. तो नोबडी कैन से कि ये तो ऑडिट ही ने किया था, आप उससे बात करो. तो टैक्स ऑडिट रिपोर्ट के अंदर अगर हमसे इतने साथ से दे वांट अस टू रिपोर्ट ऑन द पॉपुलेशन, तो अगर मैंने एक्सपेंसेस, इंडायरेक्ट और डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस अगर मैंने वो सैंपल पे चेक करे हैं, तो हाउ कैन वी इंश्योर कि टीडीएस किस पे होना चाहिए, किस पे नहीं होना चाहिए? एंड इफ वी आर नॉट श्योर कि एक्सपेंसेस कंप्लीट है, करेक्ट है, टीडीएस किस पे होना चाहिए, कितना होना चाहिए, और हम क्लॉज 34 में हम रिपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, दैट्स अ बिट रिस्की फॉर अस. मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाहूंगा, डेटा एनालिटिक्स आज की डेट में इट इज नॉट एन ऑप्शन, और शायद आने वाले दिनों में, अभी हम थोड़ी देर में 43 BH पे भी बात करेंगे, वहां पे गवर्नमेंट ने कह दिया जी ऑडिटर को बताना है कि कौन कौन से ऐसी परचेजेस हैं जिसकी पेमेंट एमएसएमई की है और टाइमली नहीं करी गई है, उसको डिसअलाउ करना है. अब अगर हम सैंपल पे वर्किंग करते रहेंगे तो एज एन ऑडिटर हम कैसे उसको बताएंगे? एंड ये तो है टैक्स ऑडिट की बात. स्टैट ऑडिट में आते हैं. स्टैट ऑडिट में एमएसएमई एक्ट की रिपोर्टिंग कंपनीज एक्ट में बहुत पहले से जा रही है. इट्स नॉट समथिंग जो अभी इस साल से आई है. हमें पहले से बताना है कि एमएसएमई को क्या हमने कोई इंटरेस्ट पे करा है, तो कोई इंटरेस्ट पे करना चाहिए था. अब वो इंटरेस्ट पे करना चाहिए था, कितना करना चाहिए था, क्या वो सैंपल पे हो सकता है? और अगर वो सैंपल पे नहीं है तो क्या मैनुअली हम उसको कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं विदाउट यूजिंग द टूल्स, विदाउट यूजिंग द डेटा एनालिटिक्स टूल्स? तो आई जस्ट वांट टू पुट अ पॉइंट अक्रॉस द टेबल कि डेटा एनालिटिक्स इट इज नॉट समथिंग ऑप्शनल फॉर अस. ये एक ऐसी जरूरत है जो शायद हमें पिछले 10 साल से है, बट हम सब उसके बिना काम चलाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, और धीरे धीरे हम टूल्स एक्सेप्ट भी कर रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं कर रहे हैं. बट अभी हमारा मन ही मानने को तैयार नहीं है कि यार इसके बिना काम नहीं होगा, ये तो करना ही पड़ेगा. जैसे आज की डेट में क्या हम लैपटॉप के बिना, कंप्यूटर में हम अपना ऑफिस चला सकते हैं? नहीं चला सकते. बट ये हमने मान लिया. आज डेटा एनालिटिक्स भी बिल्कुल इसी तरह से है. तो ओनली प्रॉब्लम इज कि अभी हमें ये लग रहा है कि ठीक है, इट इज फ्यूचर, एआई इज द फ्यूचर. नो, एआई, डेटा एनालिटिक्स, दीज आर प्रेजेंट, दीज आर नॉट फ्यूचर. फ्यूचर में क्या चीजें आएंगी फ्यूचर बताएगा, लेकिन ये तो प्रेजेंट है ना. तो डेटा एनालिटिक्स, आज अगर हम इस टॉपिक पे बात कर रहे हैं कि डेटा एनालिटिक्स के स्टैट ऑडिट में क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है, इसका मतलब ये है कि अभी हम में से बहुत सारे मेंबर्स ऐसे हैं जो कि डेटा एनालिटिक्स के बिना भी स्टैट ऑडिट कर रहे हैं. तो क्या ऐसे ऑडिट्स जो हो रहे हैं जिसमें डेटा एनालिटिक्स का यूज नहीं हो रहा, क्या उनका क्वांटम इतना है कि उसमें वो बिना डेटा एनालिटिक्स के भी क्वालिटी ऑफ ऑडिट मेंटेन कर सकते हैं? इफ यस, देन इट्स वेरी गुड, बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं। बट अगर नहीं, तो कहीं हम अपने साथ तो कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं कर रहे, क्योंकि ऐसा बहुत कॉमनली देखा गया है। एज अ प्रोफेशनल हम सब इतना वर्कलोड से घिरे होते हैं कि हमें कई बार ये सोचने का वक्त ही नहीं मिलता कि टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ हमें क्या क्या चेंजेस करने हैं। हम सब बजट हर साल अपडेट करते हैं, नो डाउट। बजट में जैसे ही बजट आता है, सारे सेमिनार, सारे वेबिनार सबके ऑफिस में रेडी रखना आ जाएंगे, सबके ऑफिस में अपडेटेड एक्ट आ जाएगा, सब क्लाइंट्स को प्रेजेंटेशन भेज देंगे कि जी इस बार ये चेंज है, ये चेंज है। बट जहां ऑडिट की बात आती है, क्या हम लोग अपने ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स को भी हर साल इतना अपडेट कर रहे हैं, इतना अपग्रेड कर रहे हैं? इफ यस, देन वेरी गुड। इफ नो, तब हमें देखना पड़ेगा कि रेगुलेटर तो हर एक्ट में, हर रेगुलेशन में चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट के, ऑडिटर्स के रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं। क्लाइंट्स अपनी फीस ऑलमोस्ट कांस्टेंट रखना चाहते हैं। सारी गलती अगर हमने कोई ऑडिट रिपोर्ट पे जो प्रोसीजर्स करने चाहिए था नहीं करे, तो एज अ प्रोफेशनल वी विल बी हेल्ड लायबल। तो वी हैव टू एंश्योर कि हमारे जो ऑडिट टूल्स हैं, इट कुड बी डेटा एनालिटिक्स, कुड बी अदरवाइज आल्सो, कुड बी एसेज, इट कुड बी आवर एथिक्स, एवरीथिंग, वी हैव टू एंश्योर दैट दोज आर रिव्यूड, दोज आर बीइंग डिस्कस्ड एंड दोज आर बीइंग अपग्रेडेड एटलीस्ट एनुअली। मैम हर सीजन में, हर बजट में कुछ ना कुछ नई एक रिक्वायरमेंट डाल देते हैं ऑडिटर पे कि जी इस बार ये बता देना। कंपनीज एक्ट में नया कंपनीज एक्ट आया, उसमें इतनी रिक्वायरमेंट्स डाल दी, ये कर देना। कारो नया आया, कारो में इतनी रिक्वायरमेंट्स डाल दी। स्टेट ऑडिटर पे ही है कारो की रिक्वायरमेंट, दे वांट अस टू रिपोर्ट ईच एंड एवरीथिंग। अगर हमें ये बताना है कि कंपनी ने जो लोन लिया है उसके रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट क्या है, उस कंपनी के जो कोवेनेंट्स है वो कंपनी के लिए फेवरेबल है, नॉन फेवरेबल है, अगर हमें ये सब बताना है, तो हम लिमिटेड रिसोर्स के साथ वो कैसे कर सकते हैं अगर हमारे टूल्स एडवांस नहीं हुए? तो आज जितने ईवे बिल बन रहे हैं, क्या वो ईवे बिल बिना सिस्टम के बन सकते थे, बिना लैपटॉप के बन सकते थे? सबने अपग्रेड करे। सेम ऑडिट में क्या दिक्कत होती है? ऑडिट करने की जिम्मेवारी ऑडिटर की है, और उसके अलावा चाहे ऑडिट ही है या रेगुलेटर है, दे आर नॉट इंश्योरिंग दैट द ऑडिटर गेट द ड्यू टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एवरीथिंग। उस केस में सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एट द डे एंड ऑडिटर की आ जाती है। तो दिस डेटा एनालिटिक्स, इट इज वन टूल। ये हमारा वो ब्रह्मास्त्र है जो हमारे को सारे रेगुलेटर से, सारे ऑडिटिंग की एक्सपेक्टेशन से, उनके अकॉर्डिंग, और हमारे लिमिटेड कंस्ट्रेंट, जो हमारी जो लिमिटेशन है, जो कंस्ट्रेंट है, उन सब को वो एक साथ पूरा कर सकते हैं। अब इस टूल को, इन टूल्स को हम कब और कैसे हम अडॉप्ट करते हैं, वो सारा गेम है सक्सेस का। जो भी कोई ऑडिटर इन टूल्स के बेसिस पे अपने ऑडिट्स जितने ज्यादा, आई वुड से, ये टूल्स का यूज करेगा, उस उन ऑडिटर्स के टाइम रिसोर्स उतना बचेगा, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स उतना बचेगा, क्वालिटी ऑफ ऑडिट सुधरेगी, एंड the kind of value additions, the kind of observations we are being able to share with the clients, those will be the actual eye openers for them. And that value addition, these will become the basis for our negotiation, for our fees, for our audit fees in the future. Because आज की डेट में हमारा काम इतना बढ़ गया है, पिछले 10-15 सालों में फीस उतनी नहीं बढ़ रही है। और वो इसलिए नहीं बढ़ रही है क्योंकि कई बार ऑडिटिंग को लगता है इट्स जस्ट अ कंप्लायंस। ऑडिटिंग को मतलब नहीं है कारो 2020 आ गया, इतनी कंप्लाइंस बढ़ गई, उसकी इतनी रिपोर्टिंग बढ़ गई। ऑडिटिंग के लिए तो जी आप पहले भी ऑडिट कर रहे थे, आप आज भी ऑडिट कर रहे हो। तो अगर हम एनालिटिक्स टूल्स लगा लेंगे, तो हम पहले भी ऑडिट कर रहे थे उतने समय में, आज भी उतने समय में ऑडिट कर लेंगे। अगर हम ये टूल्स नहीं लगाएंगे और हमें क्वालिटी भी उतनी रखनी है, तो हमारा जो कॉस्ट है, हमारे जो एफर्ट्स है, इट विल मल्टीप्लाई। तो अभी हमारी कॉल है कि हमें स्ट्रेटेजी में अपना टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना है, टूल्स में टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना है, या इनको इग्नोर करके सारे काम को मैनुअली करने में टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना है। नाउ मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट सेट, इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस एंड डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस। फॉर एक्सपेंसेस अर्लियर इन ट्रेडिशनल ऑडिट्स वी जनरली, हम लोग लेजर स्क्रूटनी कर लेते हैं, हाई वैल्यू ट्रांजेक्शन देख लेते हैं और सैंपल पे चेक कर लेते हैं। ये 3 प्रोसीजर हम लोग लगाते हैं। बट क्या हम उसको AIS से मैच कर पाते हैं? आज की डेट में आपका इनकम टैक्स में देखिए, व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग स्टैट ऑडिट, अगेन इनकम टैक्स इज वन ऑफ द स्टेक होल्डर ऑल्सो, उनके पास AIS है। AIS में जितना हमारा डेटा आता है इनवॉइस लेवल, अगेन आई एम सेइंग AIS में आपका इनवॉइस लेवल और एक तरह से मैं कहूँ तो वेंडर लेवल डेटा आता है आपके पास, डेट वाइज डेटा। अब इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट के पास लेट से वैल्यू है 100 CR की, हम परचेज और एक्सपेंस मिला के हम कह रहे हैं 105 CR है, ये हमारा ऑडिट कह रहा है बुक्स में। अब एज एन ऑडिटर आप उसमें क्या ओपिनियन दोगे? क्या ये एक्सपेंस गलत है? अगर हमें गलत कहना है तो गलत के लिए वी शुड हैव ऑडिट एविडेंसेस, otherwise we cannot qualify or we cannot give an adverse report if we don't have sufficient audit evidence for those errors. Now how will we find this 5 CR out of that 100 CR or 105 CR? These analytical tool will help us reconcile these purchases, these expenses with AIS, with GST returns, with bank statements, and this will help us know how the things are going. मुझे याद आ रहा है कुछ साल पहले एक प्रॉब्लम एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हुई थी, आई वुड नॉट लाइक टू नेम दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. It was a financial intermediary organization. It has huge number of debtors running in crores due to the business, and what was find out that some checks were being issued near cutoff date, like 31st March, 30th March, 29th March, and those checks were never realized in the bank, either dishonored or not deposited. So as an auditor, you verified the BRS, आपने सैंपल पे चेक करा, आपको सैंपल पे चेक्स मिल गए, अब कुछ चेक नहीं मिले. But when this matter come into the picture, it was perceived as a fraud because it was found that these checks were booked intentionally. It was not by mistake. And when an error was due to intention, it is counted as fraud. Simple. Now, as an auditor, how can we check whether all the expenses the client has occurred, it is actually in the bank statement or not? It is sometimes found that the expenses being done, the bill is being attached in the voucher in name of Mr. A, and the check is made to Mr. B. अब अगर ए की पेमेंट बी को करोगे मैम, तो ये चीज ना तो आपके BRS की चेकिंग पकड़ में आएगी, ना आपके वाउचर चेकिंग पकड़ में आएगी, ना आपके TDS में पकड़ में आएगी. और बैंक आजकल, अगर मैं सही हूँ, अगर एक जो एवरेज क्लाइंट है उसके भी 200 पेज की बैंक स्टेटमेंट होती है, तो 200 पेज की बैंक स्टेटमेंट एज एन ऑडिटर हम तो उसको एक तो वेरीफाई नहीं कर सकते, कितना सैंपल कर लेंगे. बट अगर हम डेटा एनालिटिक्स यूज करेंगे तो जैसे very सिंपल प्रोसीजर, आप बैंक स्टेटमेंट को उससे एक्सेल में लोगे या TXT में लोगे, उसमें अपने रिमार्क्स का कॉलम डालोगे, इट विल नॉट टेक, अगर 200 पेज की इट विल नॉट टेक मोर देन 5 to 7 minutes. That remarks will act as a name of the ledger. Make a summary of it through private or some other tool, and that summary will be compared with my trial balance, and in hardly 10 minutes आप अपना पूरा बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन की जगह पूरा बैंक स्टेटमेंट रिकंस्ट्रक्ट कर लोगे, which will be matched with my corresponding bank ledger in the Tally, Busy, Oracle, SAP, whatsoever. अब जो आपके पास जो डेटा आएगा उसमें जो डिफरेंस आएंगे, क्या आपका क्लाइंट जो डिफरेंस को डिनाई कर सकता है? नहीं कर सकता. और क्या अगर वो डिफरेंस नहीं है तो सेम है, तो आपका अब जो कंफर्ट आएगा बैंक में, क्या वो पहले भी सेम कंफर्ट था BRS में, प्रैक्टिस में? दिस इज द सॉर्ट ऑफ डिफरेंस विच डेटा एनालिटिक्स bring to us. Moving, so this is for the expense part. We have to reconcile with all the external data, be it bank statement, be it from purchase returns like GST, excise, और import. अगर हमने कुछ imports करे तो उसके भी bill of entry से वो सब match हो जाता है, and from bank statements also. So these had to be done. Now moving to the broad heads of the balance sheets. Now balance sheets को again I will categorize into debtors, creditors, loans, and inventory is already covered in P&L. Debtor, creditors, loans, and cash in bank, if I'm correct. Fixed assets are normally that, and let's say fifth is fixed assets, because there are so many companies which are they are doing so much capex that fixed assets sometimes become a major part of the balance sheet rather than the other current assets and everything. So just again taking these things one by one on a quicker basis, I think we are short of time now. So coming to fixed assets, Now in fixed assets, there is a general, for companies I'm talking about, there is a practice of physical verification of assets at least once in 3 years. That is what's recommended. Nowadays, what's being in common, especially after COVID, the asset register is not as much detailed or is not as much updated as it needs to be. Now, when I'm talking about some companies which are having fixed assets, let's say of 100 CR, 200 CR, and which is not a big number today. So we are unable to validate that fixed asset register, because fixed asset register is one document which contains value as well as physical quantity and the locations and physical, uh, you know, the condition of the asset, whether it is usable, not usable, everything. And the books of accounts representing WDV, gross value, it is more or less derived on that basis from that fixed asset register. Now, in CARO 2020, we as an auditor in Stat Audit, we have to compulsorily comment on the leasehold properties. We have to comment on the immovable properties, whether it's in the name of the company or not. We have to give whether the fixed assets are being verified, are being physically existing or not. Now, given so much quantum of data and again limited time, can we do it manually, or will the sample testing will suffice? बिकॉज अगर हमने से किसी ने भी अगर फिजिकल एसेट्स की वेरिफिकेशन के असाइनमेंट्स किए होंगे तो हमें पता होगा एक एक कंपनी को वेरीफाई करने में इट टेक्स जनरली 3 to 4 months. अगर वो एक मीडियम साइज कंपनी भी है विद अ टर्नओवर ऑफ 100 करोड़ 200 करोड़, इतना टाइम लग जाता है. तो क्या स्टैट ऑडिट में पॉसिबल है कि हम लोग एक कारों के पॉइंट के लिए हम 3 महीने लगा सकते हैं? नहीं लगा सकते. तब सैंपल बेसिस पे आप जो चेक कर रहे हैं उस सैंपल की वैल्यूएशन वाइज उसका वेट कितना है. डज दैट सैंपल गिव अस दैट कंफर्ट कि हम कारों में रिपोर्ट कर दें कि एवरीथिंग इज राइट, जो कई जगह हो भी जाती है. हम देखते हैं कि कारों में ओके है बट अगले साल फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन होती है और वहां पे बहुत सारे डिफरेंसेस निकलते हैं. तो एज एन स्टैट ऑडिटर समटाइम्स इट फील्स कि स्टैट ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में जो गया था लास्ट टाइम इट इज नॉट अप टू द मार्क फॉर द स्टेक होल्डर, क्योंकि अगर सब कुछ ठीक था एज पर ऑडिट रिपोर्ट तो नेक्स्ट ईयर उसमें इतने सारे डिफरेंसेस कैसे आ गए फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन में. तो जस्ट फॉर दोस सेक वी यूज डेटा एनालिटिकल टूल्स, जिसमें क्या रहता है कि जो आपके एसेट्स हैं उन एसेट्स के जो बारकोड्स हैं, उन एसेट्स के जो और जो आपकी फिक्स्ड रजिस्टर है और जो आपकी स्क्रैप की मूवमेंट है, जो आपकी बैंक की मूवमेंट है, हम उससे उसको रिकंसाइल करा के देखते हैं कि क्या मेरी फिक्स्ड एसेट्स की मूवमेंट एग्जैक्टली मेरी बाकी सारे पैरामीटर से रिकंसाइल हो रही है नहीं हो रही. डेटा एनालिटिक्स इज मोर अबाउट कंपेयर रिकंसाइल. जहां पे हम कुछ कंपेयर और रिकंसाइल कर सकते हैं डेटा एनालिटिक्स वहां है. और मैं नहीं समझता आज की डेट में हम लोगों का ऑडिट तो खैर बहुत बड़ी चीज हो गई, इवन आईटीआर भी आज की डेट में कंपेयर और रिकंसाइल में सिमट के रह गया. जीएसटी कंपेयर रिकंसाइल में सिमट के रह गया. आज के डेट में हमारे प्रोफेशनल वर्ल्ड में, फाइनेंशियल वर्ल्ड में एवरीथिंग इज लिमिटेड टू रिकंसाइल एंड कंपेयर. एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हमारा मेजरली काम ही इसमें जाता है. जो हम टिक करते थे पहले मैनुअली, that tick represent the compare and reconcile. That's what it represent and that's what analytics is. Now fixed assets के अंदर हमको इंश्योर करना पड़ता है कि हमारी जितनी भी जनरल वाउचर्स है, जितने भी पेमेंट ये बैंक के लेजर्स हैं, उसमें जो जो मूवमेंट हो रही है क्या वो मेरे कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग फिजिकल जो फिक्स एसेट रजिस्टर है उससे कंपेयर हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा. फॉर दैट वी नीड टू रिकंस्ट्रक्ट a movement of fixed assets from our data dump for the year. So that again, that dump we get, we reconstruct that fixed asset movement and we compare that fixed asset movement with the trial balance. If it comes with a remarkable difference, we have to rework or we have to report the difference to the management because there is difference. Either clarify our working or update the books or we need to modify our audit report accordingly. Coming to the debtors. Now, debtors are a very interesting thing. Apart from all other data we are having, there are one common problem which most of the auditors face, that they do collect a lot of confirmations from the debtor directly, not for the auditors, but for their internal AR processes. But as an auditor, they many times they do share that confirmations with us, which is might be thousands, might be lakhs in numbers, number of vendors पे डिपेंड करता है. तो क्या हम उस कंफर्मेशन जो हमारे पास आ गए हैं, क्या हम उन कंफर्मेशंस को अपने ऑडिट प्रोसीजर के थ्रू इंश्योर कर रहे हैं इट इज रिकंसाइलिंग और नॉट? मैनुअली तो ऑब्वियसली हम नहीं कर सकते. हम अगेन सैंपल पे चले जाएंगे. आउट ऑफ 1 लाख वी माइट टेक 100 सैंपल, 200 सैंपल, 500 सैंपल. अपनी टीम को लगाएंगे, इंटर्न्स को लगाएंगे, वो चेक करेंगे, कुछ गलती होगी बता देंगे, अदरवाइज वो हो जाएगा. बट आउट ऑफ 1 लाख हमने 500 चेक करे, बाकी 99,500 में गलती होने के क्या चांसेस नहीं होंगे? उसको कैसे इंश्योर करें? अगेन बहुत सारे टूल्स ऐसे हैं जो कि लेजर रिकंसाइल करके ऑटोमेटिकली, हमें कुछ नहीं करना होता. और अच्छा, व्हेन वी से दिस टूल्स और सॉफ्टवेयर्स ना, ऐसा नहीं है वो सॉफ्टवेयर आपको परचेज ही करने हैं. हम लोगों ने सबने एक्सेल में मैक्रोज यूज करा है. मैक्रो भी तो एक टूल ही है. जो चीज आप एक्सेल में कर रहे हैं, जो चीज आप पाइथन में कर रहे हैं, जो चीज आप मैनुअली कर रहे हैं, उसका आपने सिस्टम बना दिया. बट सिस्टम ऐसा बनाया है जिसमें आपको हर बार इनपुट में एफर्ट ना डालना पड़े. आप बस एक इनपुट डालें स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट में, और स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट आप आउटपुट ले लें. जो चीज ये कर देगी वो अपनी डेटा एनालिटिक्स हो जाएगा. और इसी में अगर आपको मैनुअली वो पेपर रिव्यू करके उसमें कमेंट डालने पड़ रहे हैं, तो दैट इज समथिंग विच इज नॉट पॉसिबल गिवन द क्वांटम. आज के डेट में जो क्वांटम हो गया वो पॉसिबल ही नहीं. तो व्हाट वी नीड टू डू, हमारे को अगर हम या तो इन हाउस हम कुछ डेवलप कर लें, विच विल अगेन नॉट टेक मच ऑफ द टाइम. एक्सटेंडेड फॉर्मेट आप टेम्पलेट बना लीजिए, अपने इंटर्न को दे दीजिए, वो उसमें डालेगा, और वो टेम्पलेट को आप रन करें, चाहे पाइथन से करें चाहे मैक्रो से करें, इट विल रिकंसाइल एंड इट विल थ्रो द डिफरेंस. दैट्स ऑल. उस डिफरेंस पे आपको अपना माइंड लगाना है. बट इट विल, यू नो, इट विल फिल्टर द 1 लाख यूनिट्स टू 2 to 3 यूनिट्स. अब 2 से 3 यूनिट में तो आप अपनी प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट से आप देख लेंगे ना. एंड वहां से आपको एक्चुअली ये भी एज ऑडिटर हमें पता चलता है कि पूरे सिस्टम में फ्लॉ कहाँ पे आ रहा है. तो डेटा एनालिटिक्स लीड्स अस टू find the right flaw in the right time. Moving to the next thing, next part, it is creditors. Debtor and creditors, they generally have the same issues and the same problems, and the same tool work for both of them, because it is just the debit and credit balance का difference है. But for data, the numbers are the same. They don't differentiate between the nature of the party. Next is, I believe, loans and advances. Now coming to the loans and advances, initially we need to report for 185, 186, 188. It is in compliance of that provisions about. Now Caro want us to report the tenure of the loan. Caro want us to report whether the loan is in favor of the company or it is not detrimental to the company, and all those things. Now, is it really possible कि हम 100% लोन्स को हम लोग मैनुअली उनके पूरे लोन एग्रीमेंट पढ़े, और हर एक लोन पे हम अपनी राय बनाने के लिए अपना उसमें टाइम स्पेंड करें? और अगेन एट द सेम टाइम इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल कि हम ये चीज करें ही ना, हम इंटर्न्स पे छोड़ दें, आर्टिकल पे छोड़ दें कि जी आप देख लो, बिकॉज इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ आवर ऑडिट रिपोर्ट. सो नाउ यहाँ पे डेटा एनालिटिकल टूल हमारे काम पे आता है कि जो हमारे रीपेमेंट शेड्यूल्स है, एक बार अगर हमने अपने रीपेमेंट शेड्यूल्स अपने सॉफ्टवेयर में हमने वर्किंग पेपर हमने इनकॉर्पोरेट कर लिए, बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स हमारे पास होती है जो हमने अभी इनिशियली डिस्कस किया था. बैंक में हमने अपने रिमार्क्स कॉलम डाले और उसके बेस पे हमने एक रिकंस्ट्रक्ट कर लिया बैंक का लेजर फ्रॉम द बैंक स्टेटमेंट एक्सट्रैक्टेड फ्रॉम द बैंक पोर्टल. रीपेमेंट शेड्यूल हमारे पास है ऑलरेडी वर्क पेपर्स में, प्रीवियस ईयर्स में, या इस साल है तो इस साल हमने अपडेट कर लिया. बैंक स्टेटमेंट हमारे पास ऑलरेडी है. विल इट नॉट बी पॉसिबल फॉर अस टू फाइंड आउट द डिफरेंस की ऑडिटी ने इंटरेस्ट की एंट्री नहीं करी है, प्रोविजन बुक नहीं करा है, कुछ प्रीपेमेंट करी है वो बुक नहीं करी है, या कई बार कस्टमर इंटरेस्ट पे करते हैं और उसको डेबिट लोन अकाउंट में कर देते हैं? विल इट नॉट हेल्प अस इन दैट? इट विल. सो जो डेटा एनालिटिक्स है उसका पर्पस अगेन यही है कि वो हमारे थोड़ी सी एफर्ट्स, जनरली आई वुड से 1 टाइम एफर्ट एवरी ईयर बेनिफिट. अगर कोई चीज आपको ये कर रही है, चाहे वो मैनुअल हो चाहे वो ऑनलाइन हो, इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ डेटा एनालिटिकल टूल. हम लोग डेप्रिसिएशन का हम सब आई थिंक 2013 से जब से चेंज हुआ है हम सब यूज नहीं करते. क्या हम सबने टेम्पलेट नहीं बना रखे अपने ऑफिस में जहाँ पे कि हम सिर्फ इस साल के एडिशन डालते हैं, वो ऑटोमेटिक हर अगले 10 साल की डेप्रिसिएशन कैलकुलेट करके ऑटोमेटिक लाता है। दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज डेटा एनालिटिकल टूल। अब अगर आपका क्लाइंट कहेगा जी डेप्रिसिएशन 1 CR है और आपकी वो एक्सेल शीट कहेगी कि नहीं जी इस बार तो 1.10 CR की डेप्रिसिएशन चार्ज होनी चाहिए, विल यू नॉट कमेंट? एट एट दैट टाइम आपको जो कॉन्फिडेंस होगा, आप श्योर हो कि यार 10 लाख की डेप्रिसिएशन इसने कम अपनी बुक्स में डेबिट करी है, बिकॉज यू हैव दैट नंबर। दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस brings data analytical tools or data analytics relevant to a set of. I think more or less हमने कवर कर लिया है। जस्ट एक मैं समराइज कर देता हूँ। फर्स्टली, डेटा एनालिटिक्स इज नॉट फ्यूचर, इट इज द प्रेजेंट। हम लोग जितनी जल्दी एज अ प्रोफेशनल वर्ल्ड में हम लोग जितनी जल्दी इसको एक्सेप्ट करके अपने प्रैक्टिसेस में इसको इन्वॉल्व कर लेंगे, इट विल हेल्प अस एज अ प्रोफेशन, not at individual level but at a professional level. It will help us all. It will increase the quality of audit, it will increase the value addition to the auditee, it will increase our respect and our relevance and our value addition in the industry. Secondly, जिस तरह से चीजें रेगुलेटरी लेवल पे अपडेट हो रही है, जितनी तेजी से चेंज हो रही है, ये कहना गलत नहीं होगा कि आज की डेट में हर स्टैट ऑडिट अपने आप में एक मिनी फॉरेंसिक ऑडिट है। हम लोग ऑडिट रिपोर्ट तो स्टैट ऑडिट साइन करते हैं, बट हमसे जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है स्टेक होल्डर्स की, वो फॉरेंसिक ऑडिट वाली है कि सर कहीं भी कोई भी कैसी भी कमी हो तो ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में आनी चाहिए। तो आज की डेट में जो हमारे रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क्स है, दो स्टैट ऑडिट रिपोर्ट्स आर बीइंग सीन और परसीव्ड एज फॉरेंसिक ऑडिट रिपोर्ट। तो हमें भी अपने ऑडिट टूल्स काफी हद तक उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमें करने पड़ेंगे। लास्ट थिंग इज कि हमारे जो कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग जो भी हमारे आप कह लीजिए काउंटर पार्ट्स है, चाहे वो हमारे ऑडिटी हो, चाहे वो रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट हो, वो सब ऑलरेडी डेटा एनालिटिक्स में बहुत अच्छा स्पेंड कर रहे हैं, उसको यूज कर रहे हैं। आज अगर आप किसी भी कंपनी में किसी ऑडिटी पे जाते हैं, इवन अ मिड साइज फर्म, दे स्पेंड lakhs and crores into their IT infra और फाइनेंशियल थिंग्स। डिपार्टमेंट में जाते हैं, आप एवरीबडी नोज इनकम टैक्स ने अपनी साइट को इतना ज्यादा अपग्रेड कर लिया है कि दे डू हैव मोर डेटा अबाउट द क्लाइंट रेदर देन द एसएससी हिमसेल्फ इन मेनी ऑफ द केसेस। जीएसटी के पास इतने मुझसे इतने जबरदस्त टूल्स आ गए हैं कि आप हम सब जो देखते हैं फेक इनवॉइस ये और चेन पूरी पूरी चेन को नोटिस जा रहे हैं, टू बी मिसमैच इनवॉइस इनएलिजिबल के जो नोटिस आ रहे हैं, वो डेटा एनालिटिक्स से आ रहे हैं। इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल कि उनके ऑफिसर एक एक बिल एक एक फाइल में एक एक बिल को चेक करें। इट इज ओनली थ्रू डेटा एनालिटिक्स। तो अगर हमारे सारे काउंटर पार्ट्स एक टूल यूज कर रहे हैं और हम नहीं करेंगे, तो ओवर द टाइम इट विल बी हार्ड फॉर अस टू कोप अप विद दैट। सो इट्स हाई टाइम कि हम सब टूल्स को यूज करें, वाइजली यूज करें, एंड लगभग आई थिंक इट इज परवेसिव, इट इज गोइंग टू बी यूज एवरीवेयर। सो दीज आर आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड।
Thank you. So thank you, CA Akshay Agarwal and CA Gaurav Manotra, for providing us with such a valuable insights about the topic. Your experience and guidance are greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
So I have some questions. My
जी जी
question is more toward challenges as a chartered accountant, so that I would like to highlight. Uh, as you both mentioned that there are various tools related to data analytics, but
जी
according to me, that tools are mostly used by big firms
राइट।
other than the Excel. So how can small and mediocre size audit firm can efficiently adopt data analytics given there is typical limited resource? So yeah.
I
मैम
just
गौरव जी आप एक और बताइए।
I just wanted to address this issue. इन्होंने कहा कि जो this type of analytical tools are mostly used by the big fours. I'm just totally agree with his views, but we can't say that कि हम ये tools use नहीं कर सकते या हमारे पास client approach नहीं कर सकता. Let's take an example. Mediocre mid-sized firms को last 2016 के बाद lot of NPAs बैंक्स के अंदर अकाउंट्स हुए बिल्डर्स के, रियल स्टेट वेंचर्स के, सबके, then the banks approach to the chartered accountant for an forensic audit. All audits are done by the mid-sized firm rather than the big four audits. So while executing the forensic audit, we need to adopt the analytical tools in order to doing a large base data size. So for this, I think so कि आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि आपके पास क्लाइंट नहीं है, देन आपको ये टूल्स की आवश्यकता नहीं है। आपके पास क्लाइंट्स भी आएंगे अनलेस एंड अनटिल यू नो हाउ टू यूज द टूल।
आई टोटली एग्री विद गौरव जी। और ये कहना गलत नहीं होगा कि बिग फोर या बिग फर्म्स के पास ये टूल्स इसलिए नहीं है कि उनके पास क्लाइंट्स आए थे इसलिए टूल्स उन्होंने खरीदे। मैम, होता क्या है प्रैक्टिकली, जब एक कोई बड़ी फर्म होती है ना, दे डू हैव they do have departments, and there is generally one department which thinks about the future, which thinks about the upcoming opportunities। और वहां पे वो लोग सोचते हैं कि अब हम ऐसा क्या करें जिससे कि हम इंडस्ट्री में आगे बढ़े। स्मॉल साइज फर्म्स में प्रॉब्लम ये होती है जहाँ पे एक प्रोप्राइटर है या 2 या 3 पार्टनर्स है, वो अपने काम में इतना व्यस्त रहते हैं कि शायद वो समय नहीं निकाल पाते सोचने का कि हमें अब आगे बढ़ने के लिए क्या करना। तो अगर हम सभी जो छोटी फर्म्स में है, छोटी फर्म्स के साथ है, अगर वीक में अगर हम सिर्फ 2 घंटे भी निकाल ले सिर्फ इस काम के लिए अपने फर्म में कि फर्म को आगे कैसे बढ़ने लगे, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि डेटा एनालिटिक्स के कोई कमी रह जाएगी। उन्हें जब मोमेंट वो सोचेंगे, जब मोमेंट उन्हें प्रॉब्लम समझ में आएगी कि हमारी इस समय प्रॉब्लम, हमारा कंस्ट्रेंट क्या आ रहा है, हमारा टाइम का कंस्ट्रेंट है, टीम का कंस्ट्रेंट है, तो इट विल वेरी एमिनेंट, क्लियरली पता चलेगा कि हमारे पास ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, दिस टेक्नोलॉजी गिव ऑल आवर आंसर्स, दिस टेक्नोलॉजी गिव अस ऑल द कॉम्पिटिटिव एज इन द मार्केट, एंड द मार्केट इज बिग एनफ कि यहाँ पे सिर्फ 2 या 4 बड़ी फर्म या 10-20 बड़ी फर्म से हम काम नहीं चलने पड़ा है। इंडिया इज गोइंग टू बी सच अ ग्रेट इकोनॉमी कि each and every chartered accountant will be so much loaded with the work। अगर ये टूल्स यूज करेंगे तो क्वालिटी विल बी गुड, अदरवाइज जो हमारे प्रोफेशनल ब्रदर्स इसको पहले यूज कर लेंगे, दे विल हैव द बेनिफिट्स।
So yeah, understood that point. So my next question is that how being an auditor we can ensure that data analytics tool comply with regulatory standards and industrial guidelines during these statutory audits?
तो अब इसके अंदर ना 2 चीजें हैं। फर्स्टली वी हैव टू सी वेदर दैट पर्टिकुलर टूल इज बीइंग डेवलप्ड इन हाउस or it is being purchased, because if these particular tool is purchased, so generally these are either approved by the ICI, which they do mention in their template that the same is adopted by ICI, these are recommended by ICI, this is verified by ICI. So from there we can get the comfort that the tool is compliant with the regulations with regard to integrity, completeness, safety, security, and everything. But in case the tool is developed in-house, then whosoever be a team member who is being responsible to lead that development, he has to ensure that the tool is well within our ethics, and the tool is at least not it is not easily tampered, because the tool is that our audit tool is not something which works in a closed environment. It works with in interaction with our auditee, with our auditee's data. So it's very much required as a professional that our tool does not contain something or anything which harm us or our auditee, because in both the cases it will be a great trouble for us as a professional.
I want to add on something in this. I have just used the tool that is IDEA. अगर इंस्टीट्यूट ने सर्टिफिकेशन कोर्स ऑन फॉरेंसिक ऑडिट फ्रॉड डिटेक्शन के ऊपर जो रखा था, इन दैट फॉरेंसिक ऑडिट सर्टिफिकेशन कोर्स दे प्रमोट द यूजेज ऑफ आइडिया टूल्स। वहां पर उन्होंने आइडिया टूल को यूज करने के लिए प्रमोट किया था इंस्टीट्यूट ने। विद द यूज ऑफ आइडिया टूल यू कैन जस्ट एबल टू एक्सट्रैक्ट द सैंपल एंड डूइंग अ फॉरेंसिक ऑडिट इन एफिशिएंट एंड इफेक्टिव मैनर। तो
Correct.
अक्षय जी ने जो बात बोली बिल्कुल सही बोली। तो वेदर दैट software is purchased, licensed, or in-house constructed, we need to see if it is purchased and license one software, they are fine enough.
Yeah, understood. So my next question is that, as you mentioned in traditional audit approach, we usually take the samples and do our audit and give the opinion based on that. And in data analytics, we usually take the 100% of the population. But being a chartered accountant, I think we somehow is afraid of using the data analytics because we are not sure whether the data provided by that tool is reliable or accurate or not. So how we can resolve these problems, or we can redeem our affair?
I didn't get you, Gunjan.
Yeah. So basically, if you are using a data analytics, we usually use the tools, but we also try to do manually basis so that we can be more reliable and accurate. So my question is that it will take more time as we are using data analytic tool also and doing manually basis. So my question is that how?
I'll
Yeah,
just get back to you on this issue.
yeah.
सर बिल्कुल आपने सही बोला। जिस दिन पहले दिन अगर हम गाड़ी चलाना सीखते हैं तो मुझे अपनी ट्रैवल जर्नी जो होती है, अगर वो 5 मिनट की है सर, वो जर्नी मेरी आधे घंटे में ट्रैवल हो पाती है, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट कंफर्टेबल विद ड्राइविंग द स्कूटर और कार, वट एवर आई एम जस्ट ड्राइविंग। तो इन द सेम मैनर, अगर आप टूल जो यूज कर रहे हैं सर, अगर पहले दिन आप यूज कर रहे हैं, बट ऑब्वियस है कि एक साइकिल चलाने में भी, सीखने में भी मुझे टाइम लगा था, तो वो टूल सीखने में भी सर टाइम लगेगा। बट वी आर बीइंग एन ह्यूमन, हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हम जितना टाइम उस टूल में लग रहा है, हम उतना टाइम मैनुअली करके उस काम को जल्दी कर सकते हैं। बट सर जल्दी कर सकते हैं फॉर ओनली फॉर 10 days। अगर आपने 10 दिन लगातार उस टूल पे काम किया, 11वें दिन यू आर हैंडी विद दैट टूल, और आप 11वें दिन से जो काम आधे घंटे में कर रहे हैं वो 5 मिनट में उस टूल से हो जाएगा। बट दिस इज एन ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी एंड ह्यूमन अप्रोच कि हमें उस समय ये लगता है कि हम ये मैनुअली कर सकते हैं और वो टूल से ज्यादा टाइम लगेगा।
Yeah, so thank you so much, Kunjan, for the asking questions. I also have another set of questions. So it is a practical one. Newly chartered accountants are facing challenges to purchase these tools. So please suggest some economical and simple to use data analytical tools and softwares to the newer members, which are commonly used after MS Excel.
Gaurav, would you like to name SQL?
SQL,
One of
Python,
हाँ,
Python, SQL, you can just see that वो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट है। आपको उसपे पहले लर्निंग लैंग्वेज, स्ट्रक्चर्ड क्वेरी लैंग्वेज का नेक्स्ट वर्जन है पाइथन। लेकिन पाइथन अगर आपने सीखनी है, यू हैव टू लर्न द क्वेरी लैंग्वेज, और
coding.
उसके अंदर आपको एप्लीकेशन करनी है, रादर देन यू कैन जस्ट गो फॉर दिस आइडिया एंड ऑल दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टफ, बिकॉज दे आर एक्सपेंसिव। यू आर राइटली सेड कि वो एक्सपेंसिव हैं, बिल्कुल है सर। न्यूली फ्रेशर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट कांट बी एबल टू अफोर्ड दिस काइंड ऑफ टूल। सो आप पाइथन की तरफ मूव ऑन कर सकते हो। पाइथन की लैंग्वेज सीख के उसी के अंदर आप इफ एंड बट करके आप जो फॉर्मुलेस लगाने हैं, देन यू कैन जस्ट एक्सट्रैक्ट अ रिजल्ट ऑफ फ्रॉम योर डम्प डेटा।
आकाश जी, ऐसा ना हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट ने एक बड़ी अच्छी एक तरीका रखा है हम लोगों के लिए कि जब तक हम लोग एक फ्रेश चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बनते हैं उससे पहले हम सब इंटर्नशिप करते हैं। अगर हम एज अ प्रोफेशनल अगर हम सब डेटा एनालिटिक्स यूज कर रहे हैं, तो जो आज फ्रेश चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बना है उसने अपनी इंटर्नशिप में वो टूल्स ऑलरेडी यूज करे होंगे। तो पहली चीज तो उसका एक कंफर्ट लेवल आ जाएगा। सेकेंडली, अगर उसने वो टूल्स देखे हैं, यूज करे हैं, तो उसे ये भी पता उसकी कॉस्टिंग क्या है और उसके बेनिफिट क्या है। आई एम वेरी मच श्योर अगर किसी को टूल प्रॉपर यूज करना आता है, कॉस्ट हमेशा उसको कम ही फील होगी एज कम्पेयर टू द बेनिफिट। आप किसी भी अकाउंटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर को ले लीजिए, आप लैपटॉप को ले लीजिए, हम सबके लिए लैपटॉप कॉस्टली थे जब तक हमें ये नहीं पता कि इसके बिना ऑफिस नहीं चल सकता। सेम गोज विद द ऑडिट टूल्स। जब हमें लगता है कि हमारा इन सॉफ्टवेयर से हमारा टाइम कितना सेव हो रहा है, प्रोडक्टिविटी कितना आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, हमें कितना हमें मार्केट कैप्चर करने में हेल्प मिल रही है, दिस द कॉस्ट ऑफ अ टूल विल ऑलवेज मच लोअर देन दोज बेनिफिट्स।
So the another
Any other
question,
question, Akash ji?
yeah, just one last question. So since we know that risk assessment is a major stage in an audit, so how can data analytics be used to perform risk assessment? So please briefly touch base an example of risk assessment part using data analytics.
सर अभी जब हमने डिस्कशन किया तो जैसे अभी हमने डिस्कस किया था कि इन्वेंट्री का हमने एग्जांपल डिस्कस किया था. Assessee या auditee क्या करता है? It gives us a set of books of accounts with some documents like vouchers, like reports, FIS reports and everything. And as per them, those are the final and those are the perfect records and perfect financials. And they just want us कि आप उसको check करिए, review करिए and give us an audit opinion. And what client is expecting every time, the client expects a perfect clean report from us. But हमारे it's our duty to verify those record and find out some difference or irregularity, and those difference and irregularity, if not corrected, then we have to give a qualified or negative report, else we have to give a okay report or unqualified report. Now अब जो आपका क्वेश्चन है सर कि जो ऑडिट टूल्स है ना, ये ऑडिट टूल्स से ही हमें पता चलेगा कि कहाँ गलतियां है, और जब जिस एरिया में जिस पर्टिकुलर लाइन आइटम्स में मॉडस ऑपरेंडी हमें दिखेगी, फ्रॉम देयर वी विल बी एबल टू असेस द रिस्क. एक एग्जांपल जैसे हमने इन्वेंट्री में लिया था, अब अगर ऑडिटी ने एसेट ए को या इन्वेंट्री ए को ऑडिटी हैज मिसक्लासिफाइड एज एसेट बी और इन्वेंट्री आइटम बी, नाउ दिस risk is not visible to us till we use data analytics, we rework, we recompute the inventory movement, and we found that there is some difference. Now these data analytic tools, this will red flag the issue and this will give us evidence of the errors or irregularities in those books of accounts. And on the basis of those irregularities, we will find out that which area is more vulnerable to errors, and we need to intensify our procedures. So those risk assessment, these data analytics tools which identify the risk assessment, it will also, it will substantiate the risk assessment, because we will have a document, we will have a working to substantiate our case that yes, this area do have some problem. It will not be on some on some intuition.
This tool will red flag the what are the audit anomaly in the samples or whatever you are just doing risk assessment, and being an auditor you need to respond according to the whatever your opinion and what you want to do with the risk.
इसलिए गौरव जी ने शायद कहा था कि data analytics will never be a threat, it is an opportunity for us.
Very well said. So I believe we are done with all the questions. So thank you so much both the eminent speakers for the answers, sharing knowledge and experience and guidance during the session. So now I will hand over the proceedings to Anil sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Akash ji. Thank you so much, Gaurav sir and Akshay ji, for such a wonderful deliberation. You have deliberated on all the aspects relating to the data analytics, as well as I have gained a lot through your deliberation, and hope our members have also gained a lot through your deliberation. And on behalf of Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of ICI, I extend my heartiest thanks towards both the learned speaker. And hats off to you, Akshay ji, apart from having some emergent family exigencies, and you have joined today's webinar, because ultimately it is only for the members, and you have in this emergency period also you have joined the seminar. So thank you so much for our members. You are here, and for the members at large. So once again, thank you both the learned speaker Gaurav ji and Akshay ji for sparing your valuable time, and Gunjan ji and Akash ji for wonderfully moderating today's webinar. I also extend my heartiest thanks towards all the participants for patient hearing. So once again, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.